have headphones on and you listen to music and whatever. And
Yeah.
vampires can go out in the sun, but they just have kind of pointy teeth and they're very gothic. And I'm like,
And
this
a
is
little
like,
cheesy, yeah. I
Do they
really
sparkles?
no.
no, thankfully, but
I really liked I just finished on their Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which
oh, I
was
love V.E.
very good.
Schwab.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
definitely should listen to that. That one was very good.
yeah,
A
I want to
very
pick up.
interesting twist
I
on
want
We're
to
gonna
like
take a
pick up.
leak before we start.
superheroes.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we started, but I guess go ahead. Sorry.
It's
We're
okay,
live,
we
but
can
you
get
can
to it
go
in
because
about
I'll do the
minutes.
intro stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Just go pee now. Sorry. I like to do it unannounced so that we can get some of that B-roll at the beginning.
Well, let me finish my thought for Sarah.
go
But
for it.
I just finished listening to A Court of Thorn and Roses. Have you listened to that one?
No, I haven't.
That one's
I'll
pretty
have to
good.
add
It's
that to
about
my-
it's mostly fairies, but
Mhm.
I think it's pretty cool. And I'm listening to the second one right now off of the library website. So, or Overdrive, I
yeah.
think is what it's called.
I was gonna say our book, like the library, it goes through Libby, which is like kind of
Yeah.
like Overdrive. But I feel like I run out of time. Like it's only 2 weeks.
Yes, very quickly.
Yeah.
So in the settings on Libby, you can change it, but it only goes up to 21 days.
Yeah.
It's still pretty fast.
I mean, normally if it's a really good book, then I will read it. But we've just been so busy.
Well, right, I think I'm using Libby because they switched from Overdrive to Libby, and I keep forgetting the name of Libby.
Yeah.
But I still have like 12 hours left on. I think the second one's called A Court of Mist and Fury. And I'm like, I only have 4 days left, and I still have 12 hours left.
I know.
I was like, I was reading it like all the way to and from Virginia, and I still am not even close to finishing it.
Hey, 3 hours every day. You're good. You got it.
Ugh.
It's just hard because you can't always like be paying attention to what you're listening to for 3 hours. Like sometimes you have to be doing stuff that you can't. So, all right. Well, we can start whenever you're ready.
I got it. I got it under control. Might need you to talk a little louder.
Okay.
All right. What's up?
What's up?
We're live again. Oh, wait. We're still live.
We were
All
live
right.
this whole time.
The whole time. The whole time. All right. What's up, everybody? And welcome to the culmination of Extra Life Week. We've currently raised $102.69.
Woohoo!
Unfortunately, not really anywhere close to our goal, but
That's okay.
it's all right. That's still $102 and of course 69 cents.
For the
That's
kids.
for the kids that they did not have.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we can get a little more tonight before we end this. Before we end the podcast, because I'm not sure if I'm going to stream after or not. Probably not. But yeah, so hopefully we can get a little more tonight. But as always, I am your host, Matt, and I'm joined by my friends. At the top left, I've got Chris, and at the very bottom, I have Cheyenne, and we have a special guest, my wife, Sarah, who's in my cam also because, we live together.
Yeah.
So there'd be no point in using two different computers. Yeah.
Husband and wife living together?
I know, it's really nasty. I don't know if I can do it any longer.
Yeah, I think we should throw in the towel right now.
Do you got a white? Do you have a white one?
Ooh.
No.
Oh, well. All right. Well, tonight, Sarah just specifically asked to be on this one, because of our main topic, which, if you've listened at all to the last 4 or 5 podcasts, you know what's coming. But before that, we're going to talk about a potential Grand Theft Auto 6 leak that was brought to my attention earlier this week. And we're also going to talk a whole hell of a lot about Assassin's Creed. This might be our longest podcast ever because we're probably going to deep dive into almost every game I have played every single one of them. So we're going to go for as long as it takes to get it done.
As long as it takes.
Yeah. Strap in.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm also going to be retiring our catchphrase because I think it's super corny and stupid.
Aww.
So we're going to try to think of something else. Yeah. No, it's annoying. It annoys me now. It's super cheesy. No.
I love it.
All right, fine. For one final time, then.
No,
All
not
right?
final. That's our thing.
Yes. No. I hate it so much. One final time.
Yeah.
Let's get nerdy. All right.
What an
So,
intro.
how was everybody's weekend? I'm assuming everybody here, our weekend was pretty good. I would assume.
Yeah, not bad.
Had a pretty good weekend.
Not bad.
I'm not a partier, but I went to a party and partied.
Wow, what a nerd!
Well
what
done.
a nerd!
I
Living
know.
it up.
I know. It was a belated Day of the Dead celebration because they had to postpone it to this weekend, but it was a lot of fun. I took my great grandma with me and my dad, and I put them on the Fuente, I think is what it's called.
I have no idea. Sorry, I've never been to a Day of the Dead concert. Jesus Christ. Party. Unfortunately, our one person that would know anything
he's not here today.
About
I thought
Day of the Dead he is not here, unfortunately.
I really thought he would be super proud of me for going.
But he's dead, so we don't talk about him.
He's dead.
Yeah, when we don't have people here, they're dead.
They're dead. Okay. Well, anyway, you put the picture of the people who have passed, and you put them up on an altar and celebrate them. And so that's what I did. And then my friends did the same thing. They had their loved ones on the altar as well. And we just partied and had pizza and s'mores because we had a bonfire, and it was really nice. It was a lot of fun, and I don't do that very often.
Well, maybe you should do it more often because you deserve to have a good time.
Sorry, the dogs decided they wanted to go off as soon as we started the podcast, so
we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk over them for you, but
yeah,
it's okay. I muted the mic, so
yeah. How was your weekend, Chris?
You missed me cussing them out.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
I'm just kidding. I didn't cuss them.
Did you do anything
fun? I've just been studying for the Kaplan nursing exam.
Awesome. So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Micro.
That, and I've been doing microbiome studying for that too. So.
Well, I think Cheyenne and Sarah know about that.
Oh.
Yeah, you still haven't called. You know, I'm a professional microbiologist.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah. Why don't you just call her during your test?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say, I've been doing a good job studying. Currently, I have a 95 point something
in that
class.
Come on, Chris. You have 100. You fucking suck.
I know.
I feel like it's so hard to get 100 in a STEM class.
I always miss one or just some kind of shit like that.
There's no way.
Yep, I have an organic 2 exam tomorrow, so wish me luck.
You got this.
Good luck.
Good luck. I am so glad that I am done with school forever.
Yeah. The last Orgo 2 exam.
I have reached terminal velocity.
The last Orgo 2 exam I took, though, I got a 14 out of 15 correct. So I was
nice.
Hopefully I can do that again tomorrow.
I told you could do it.
You can do even better than that tomorrow.
Oh man.
100?
100.
Yeah.
100.
A straight hundo.
Mm-hmm. You got this.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about what we did this weekend?
Yes.
What did we do this weekend?
Well, we just went to your dad's and my dad's house. That was about it.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. That was about it.
That was it.
We had our anniversary since we talked to them last.
Oh, yeah, on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Been married for 3
years. Congratulations.
Yeah. Did a whole lot of nothing, but I made dinner for 2 hours.
Yeah, it was very good dinner, though.
It looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good.
What was that dinner for our audio?
It was reverse seared tomahawk bone-in ribeye. So reverse sear is you bake it in the oven until it's like 1 degree below what you want it to be in terms of doneness, and then you get a skillet really, really hot, throw some olive oil on it. You basically sear one whole side to get it crispy on the outside. And because it's been baked, it's already done, but the outside gets crispy. And then you throw a little bit of butter, and I threw some rosemary and a little bit of garlic powder in there, and then basted the top of it after I flipped it the first time. And then I made fucking green beans with that, with bacon in it, some rice,
and
carrots, which was way, way, way too much.
He's got me salivating thinking about
really
that.
full.
It was way
It
too much.
So good though.
Way
I'm
too.
glad I just had dinner. Otherwise,
I felt like I just wanted to die after eating, but I ate all of it.
No,
unfortunately for my stomach.
Yeah.
Fortunately for my mouth, but
Yeah.
unfortunately for my stomach.
Yeah.
And my bowels.
Mm-hmm.
Your bowels.
The next morning wasn't great. I can't lie. But yeah. But today I got a story for today.
Yeah.
So today, so we got a little notification, like letter thing. It was like an orange piece of paper that they slip they slipped in our door like last week, saying that the maintenance was going to come by and check our meter or water meter or some clean air meter or something like that and also check our air filter like anytime this week. So of course it had to be today, this morning. It's also probably because we're like the first building, so they literally just walk across the street. So we're anytime they do that, it's early as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dogs have to go. Well, one dog has to go off and yell and bark the entire time. I'm trying, and I'm also just wearing underwear, so I'm yelling at the front door like, "Hold on, God!" Like wait, because they can just come in. I
wait,
didn't think,
please.
Yeah, like just hold on, please, so I can wrangle these animals.
And they're like loose in the apartment.
Yeah. So I put a shirt on and I put a pair of shorts on. And then I walk out into the living room to wrangle Riley, get her in the bedroom. And then I look on the floor and there is a giant ink stain on the ground from Clem chewing up one of my G2 pilots, my last black one that I haven't lost.
Of course.
And there's black ink stained in the carpet all over it. And then I'm like, well, shit, I don't want them to see that, obviously, because out of embarrassment. So I threw a towel in the middle of the floor over it, even though they were only going to be in the house for like 2 seconds. And then as I'm like talking to them outside, because they're asking me about, COVID protocol and all this shit, I look back at Clem, because Clem doesn't get like aggressive to people. Like, she doesn't bark like that, like Riley does. Riley just barks at people, but people seem to be scared of her. And then I look at Clem, and she's got black ink all the way up to her dog elbows and all over her face.
My
and I'm
God.
like, I'm in the middle of talking to them. I'm like, hold on. So I have to grab her, and like, she gets really scared for no reason at all whatsoever. So she thinks I'm like trying to, I don't know, beat her, because apparently I just beat her all the time. Apparently. So she's like crawling away from me, won't listen. Like, I'm just like, go in the room. Just go in the room, please.
And then
please
she
go in
just
the room.
gets small.
Yeah, she gets all the way down, and so I'm like, fuck this. And I pick her up, and she pees all over me because she's scared. Yeah.
What a fucking, how long? That's a fucking day.
And I just
right
there. That's the start of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Threw her on the bed, and I was like, fuck you, dog. God damn it. Just all you had to do was listen. Just go in the fucking room so I could close the door for the 3 seconds they're going to be here.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And of course, they were literally in and out within 30 seconds. And then I had to attempt to clean the floor and clean the dog. So I threw her ass in the tub. At least she was nice enough, once I coaxed her in the bathroom, to just get in the tub herself. I was like, okay, that's cool. Thanks. Appreciate it. And then I had to wash her with dish soap to get the ink out of her hair.
Poor thing.
Poor dog.
Mm-hmm.
She's still got black ink in her teeth.
Oh.
But supposedly it's not poisonous, so it's fine.
Just annoying.
Yeah, just a huge inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my day.
Well, I don't know how effective it is, but I just read that milk can be used to get ink stains out of things like carpet.
I also watched a video of someone using WD-40 to get it out.
Does it help a little bit?
It has helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But it still.
I think it's just going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, it's going to take multiple passes, I'm sure. So
some elbow grease.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some elbow grease I didn't feel like applying today after. I mean, it's already in there, so why not let it just fucking sit there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anybody else have an awesome story from this weekend?
Nothing like that.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I was gonna say, today at work, I go through these phases. For obviously our audience doesn't know what I do. But I'm a physical therapist, and I work with I work with people, like older people mostly, and I go through these phases, like days, where I find that I'm doing the same thing with everybody. So today was like a get dressed and get washed up day. Like everybody I went in to see, I had to get them dressed and like get their teeth brushed and get them washed up. I literally did that out of the 4 people I saw for 3 people. So I don't know. It's better than having a poop day.
Fair.
So, or better than having it ink in the floor day.
Ink in the floor day sounds pretty.
Yeah. Those days are they sound great. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I guess if nobody else has any stories, we'll move on to our first little topic before we dive into some Assassin's Creed for however fucking long that's gonna be. So, Chris brought it to my attention by sending me a link to a article about another Grand Theft Auto 6 leak, which there have been many. If you even happen to go online ever, there's like a new one, it seems like every week. But this one was especially interesting to me because of what it was about. So I mean, there's been a ton of leaks about the story, about and stuff like that, where like a lot of the story leaks seem to be pretty consistent. If you guys haven't heard, most of them are like, so it's looking like it's going to be based in Vice City again. They're going to go back to Vice City. I don't know about the era. It could be modern times or it could be in the 90s or something like that. I've heard, but it's gonna I believe it, I think I heard it's supposed to be late 80s or 90s during like the cocaine craze or whatever, like the of Miami and stuff like that. So it's gonna have a lot to do with drug stuff and cartel stuff. But supposedly there will be multiple maps where you fly and you go to Liberty City as well, and Vice City, which is Miami, and you also go to South America because that's where cocaine comes from mostly. So anyway, yeah. So that's supposedly the rumor, I guess, about the game, and there's been a lot of leaks that corroborate that for the most part. Which I mean, it sounds cool. I mean, regardless of what it is, I know I'll buy the game. So will everybody. But the thing that I found interesting about this newest leak was that it said that there is expected to be some kind of PS5 exclusivity, whether that means exclusive only to the PlayStation 5 or some kind of timed exclusivity or anything like that. But I think we'll discuss here for a minute, but I do not believe that it will be exclusive to the PlayStation 5. And if that is the case, they're missing out on so much money. There's no way Sony would be willing to pay Rockstar basically whatever they estimate their earnings to be from the Xbox, because there's no other way that Rockstar would even do that deal, because GTA prints money. It prints money. There's no way that they would make it exclusive to the PS5.
I don't even think they would do a timed release, like a timed exclusive release for that reason too, because it's such a big money grab. Like, why would they go a couple months without getting the Xbox revenue?
Go, Chris.
I think they I think at worst case scenario that it'll be a timed thing, like what Cheyenne was just mentioning, because I could see Sony bribing them basically to do that so that they could boost PS5 sales to get a jump start on
I can
on
see
Xbox.
That. I can also see that.
Most likely it's going to be some kind of exclusive, like maybe PS5 gets to access to GTA Online way earlier, or like maybe there's some
they do exclusive the Call of Duty route where they get all the DLC a month early.
Yeah, or like some exclusive, exactly, content, like I don't know, missions or who the fuck knows what it will be. But
I mean, they're pretty much already doing a content deal with like the money, like GTA Online. You're getting like, apparently PS4 owners are getting $1 million for free every month until it releases on PS5 or something like that. Which I can see that, but I can also see them trying to boost PS5 sales by doing like a month of exclusivity. Like you can only get PS5 on, or sorry, GTA on PS5. And I think there's two reasons why. One reason is because they'll get a giant ass check from Sony. Two, then they'll have two huge booms in game sales.
Exactly.
Because then they'll have a PS5, huge boom in sales, and then a month later or however long they'll have another huge boom in Xbox sales. And they may even see more total sales day one on the Xbox because people will have seen the game, and that and it builds up more hype because it's quote unquote exclusive. So humans buy into exclusivity.
There's going to be like a lot of outrage online and memes and bullshit that's going to like really draw attention to it. And this is GTA we're talking about, their flagship, best-selling game, the one that they put the most work into, the most money into. So I mean, they're not going to. People are going to fucking buy it anyway.
Yeah, like, and then GTA, they're going to take their time with this because GTA 5 is still printing money, and that game has spanned 3 console generations now. Yep. As of tomorrow, when the Xbox Series S comes out, and whatever, I think GTA is available on release day, but I'm not sure. But it will span 3 console generations.
Exactly, it will be on that Xbox.
Yeah, it's already been announced that it will be on next gen. So it's ridiculous. 3 console generations for one game that all it does is print money. Still. But yeah, I mean, it's just like supposedly also the second part of this leak will be that the game will be revealed sometime next year, which I feel like I've been hearing that in leaks for the last 4 years, to be honest. That I put no salt in that, like not a single grain do I take from that. Nothing. I really have no idea. They're not going to show it until it's all the way done. Until they're about. I mean, Red Dead. I think originally when they first announced Red Dead, they only announced it like 6 months before the original release date, and then I believe they did delay it. I can't remember how long, but I remember that they did delay Red Dead. And basically at this point, every AAA game that comes out, unless it's Call of Duty, I just assume it's going to get delayed at some point.
Cyberpunk.
Hey, we can talk about that too. I don't think we talked about that last week, did we?
We didn't. No.
It's ready when it's fucking ready.
It's ready when it's ready. And I'm totally okay with the delay for Cyberpunk because it gives me an opportunity to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So
true.
Because I was gonna have to try to rush to somehow finish it in 9 days.
Fair.
And then never touch it ever again because Cyberpunk will take away my life. So.
I mean, I'd rather them produce a finished product that they're proud of than slap together some bug fixes or like patch it. I don't know. I want them to be satisfied with it so that when we play it, we can hold them to the standard that we expect from them.
Yeah. It's weird though, because it went gold the week before they delayed it, which if you guys don't know what gold means, basically that means that what's the final product on the disc, that's what, like when you go gold, that's when you're starting to ship product. And now there's still always a huge day one patch because they keep working, obviously if you download the game, you don't get that giant patch, because
it's included.
It's included with the download. But if you get the disc, everything they added, that's why sometimes you'll put in a disc and there'll be like 30 gigs more and you're like, holy shit. They added so much stuff. But yeah, so they actually already went gold and then delayed it again, which was really weird.
That is really weird.
So but I don't know what exactly they're doing. Maybe they're polishing some glitches. I don't know. I really don't have any idea how the production of games works, or like what is normally going on the last few weeks of development. So I can't really speak on that.
They're fine-tuning the genital editor.
I hope so.
More details.
Yeah, man. I want to pick exactly how many ball hairs I have.
That you're never gonna see.
That I'm never.
Whether or not I'm circumcised, that's important.
That better be in there. Or if I can have a bionic cock, that'll be the best.
Or 2 bionic cocks.
Oh my god! All right, stop.
Too much.
Yeah. Much. Man, Chris, you're getting me excited. All right, so I guess we're probably on that note, we're probably ready to move on to something a little less bionic, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
What's the matter, Cheyenne?
You don't have anything to add, Cheyenne? I feel like there's a wall there, but I feel like it's just you want to knock it down. So just go ahead. Go ahead. We're waiting.
No, I'm good.
No? Okay. I
So
can see the
Assassin's
cracks.
Creed.
I can see the cracks on the wall though. I can see it. They're forming. So yeah, so now we're going to discuss our main topic of the night. And I've been kind of bouncing around in my skull whether I want to call this something specific. Like, I don't know exactly what direction we're going to go, but I'm going to call it what happened to Assassin's Creed is probably going to be the title of this podcast. I don't know if we're going to go in that direction necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're just going to specifically talk just in depth about the games itself. I will try to do I want to do a connect the dots of where things changed, where along the line we think things changed and stuff
how
like that.
Assassin's Creed evolved.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's begin.
Yes, we will. We will begin. We will begin. So, I'm writing one more note. Sorry.
Unacceptable. Can't take.
Truly.
Because I forgot. Yeah, I know.
Our poor listeners.
You should be prepared.
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, for everybody else that just shows up to the podcast.
I got like 3 fucking pages worth of shit.
I know.
I got 3 pages worth of shit.
He really works hard on these, during the week and.
Look at this. I got here's all my notes on each game, and then I've got another page of notes.
I bet he keeps that notebook by the toilet so you can just work on it.
No, it just stays in here.
In
a whole nother page. That's just the notes.
We know how hard you work on this.
Yeah,
top
dude,
of the notes,
it shows.
this is the outline.
No one's doubting your
top of the outline and
your commitment,
another
dude.
page.
Still going.
Still shit.
Still beating.
So yeah, so you guys can shut up. Well, it's not dead yet. It's dying, but it's not dead. All right. Anyway, so I guess we'll go ahead and start with Assassin's Creed 1. I don't know exactly I will say I did write down all the dates of these games, the release date, so we can kind of get a small a timeline going here. So
that's the one
first Assassin's Creed came out in 2007.
Dang.
I was wondering if I wanted you guys to try to guess that or not, but
I knew it was 2007 already.
Oh. Look at Chris coming with notes.
Yeah, somebody was ready too.
Somebody was ready. I don't know who it was, but somebody was ready. So, who wants to, I guess, start us off at least with we've all, I think, except for Sarah, played this game, correct?
Yeah.
Shine's playing it now.
Yeah, I'm playing.
So I guess we'll start each one of these with when you first played it, especially with this one. Was this the first game that we all the first Assassin's Creed? At least 3 of us played.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, okay, all right. I think, Chris, you had played this game before me.
Yep.
On PS3, I believe your dad owned it, right? Or you owned it, but you know.
Yeah, it was on PS3 initially when I played it. And I thought it was really fucking cool. I'd never seen anything like that at the time.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a unique idea with the whole Animus. It's not really something that I feel like has really been done before.
It was very unique.
I'm going to have to give me 1 second. So I forgot to read this synopsis of what Assassin's Creed is before. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably good.
All right. So Assassin's Creed, shut up. Assassin's Creed is a third-person action-adventure series, which has now transitioned into more of a third-person RPG series over the last 2 games, including the new one that comes out tomorrow. It's a third-person action-adventure series steeped in history, conspiracy, and religion. It's been around for a long time now. Has given us some groundbreaking and ahead of its time gameplay. Some of gaming's greatest characters and twists, but it's also brought out some of the worst practices in modern games as well along the way over the last couple years for sure. I think it's safe to say that most of us have spent quite a lot of time playing Assassin's Creed over the years. We, for sure, would not declare any of us experts on Assassin's Creed or the lore of Assassin's Creed. But we've definitely, most of us have spent extensive amounts of time playing the games. Almost all of them. I know I've played every single one, and everyone else here has played a lot of them. So we've got experience playing the games. But I definitely don't want to go on record and say that any of us are experts on any of the lore. So we may get some points wrong here and there.
Yeah.
But it's also been years since some of us have probably played them. So but yeah, with that said, sorry. Assassin's Creed 1, Chris.
What I liked about Assassin's Creed 1 was I thought it was so interesting that it takes place during like the 11th century Crusades, and you're not playing it from like a Christian white guy perspective. You're taking it from the assassin. You're Arab. Are you Arabic?
I believe he's Muslim, but or Arabic. I think
maybe
because the Templars are the ones leading the Crusades.
But it was so cool, like seeing all these buildings that modern day would be ruins, but they're in their glory days, and you're just I don't know. It was just amazing for its time.
Yep.
To me, but it doesn't hold up well now. But it is good for what it was.
I do want to expand on that. I think what it was really groundbreaking about the game was it was one of the first really big like free roam, like where you can just roam around an entire city like that. Like, but the thing that was like even more so that got what I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they expanded a lot more on like the open world.
Yeah, the complexity of the
verticality of the game. Like no game before this that I could think of had the level of verticality that Assassin's Creed had, or the traversal ability. Like this was the first game that I ever remember being able to just run and climb on anything that I can see.
Yeah.
And I while again now the controls are very dated and have not aged very well at all.
No,
that
really.
Gameplay is
it's not unplayable.
It was groundbreaking at the time of 2007.
Yeah.
It's not unplayable, and according to the Assassin's Creed fandom website, Altair was an atheist, but his father was Muslim and his mother was a Christian. But it centers around Jerusalem, or at least I'm in Jerusalem right now.
It's in the Holy Land.
Yeah, and they do refer to Allah as the God, so it's very centered around Arabic and Muslim.
I think Chris and I both remember the famous line that every single soldier in that game said, "Infidel, die!"
Yes.
Every time anytime you would ever get targeted or seen, I just
I feel like at least playing through it right now, I feel like the getting spotted is like constant.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no
like in
hiding.
Far Cry.
What?
You like in Far Cry?
We're talking about Assassin's Creed, man.
I know.
Talking about
that's another Ubisoft game, though.
Well, that's true, but I do feel like it's not quite as finessed as the other Assassin's Creed games.
I would definitely,
What about
agree.
You can really blend into the other ones, but this one, if you want to blend in, you have to walk two centimeters a second, and it's so slow. And if you let go of the A button to just speed up, they're like, "Oh my god,
hey,
it's him!
That guy! He's not praying anymore and walking."
I gotta expand on that a little bit too. The drunkards in that game are fucking obnoxious.
Oh my god, they just come up and punch you, and
they're drunken sailors, I think, is what they're supposed to be.
And they just sprint up to you and just shove you, and then the guards are
replaced by the loot players in the Renaissance era Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
But
and the beggars,
they're
obnoxious. A coin, just one coin.
I'm poor and sick and hungry.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude!
Out of our way! I thought this was the rich district of Jerusalem. Why are you here?
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, absolutely. There was some huge annoying things in that they even just kept in the game, like the fucking loot players and shit. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But I wrote another note here, and I'll probably have to expand on what I mean by this. But the first Assassin's Creed was a game that I would call it was very video gamey. So obviously, there was so many video gamey tropes, and what I guess what I mean by that is just a lot of really repetitive, ridiculous things that you would never ever do or see in real life. That is the core gameplay of the game. So in the game, in that game specifically, after I think the first 2 or 3 sequences, every single time you need to figure out like what to do or where to go, you have to go and synchronize at a viewpoint, and then you might find a pickpocket thing to do or an eavesdropping, and that's the whole game. That is the entire game of the first Assassin's Creed, and it doesn't really. It like gets you to do that at first, like, all right, go to the viewpoint, now go over here and pickpocket this guy, and go over here and fucking eavesdrop. But after like the first 2 sequences, it just doesn't tell you anymore. So I got to a point when I first played the game, I was like, what the fuck? Like the only thing on the map were the viewpoints, and it just stopped showing you where all those investigation markers were.
That's one of the biggest gripes I have. At least, I didn't play it when it came out in 2007. I didn't start playing Assassin's Creed till Assassin's Creed 2, and I'm going back and playing it, so I don't have quite the same experience you guys do, but playing it now, I'm like, okay, I don't have any kind of map to follow because the little thing on the bottom doesn't show you roads. It doesn't show you viewpoints. You have to go to the map to even see where a viewpoint is, and then you have to like figure out which way you're facing. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And then you're just like you said, you have to get any of the missions, you have to synchronize at a viewpoint, and it's like,
how frustrating is it that Altair is like an expert swordsman, an expert free runner, but he can't fucking swim? He dies immediately.
Like the video,
it's like it's deeper than my chest.
Also,
I'm dead.
Is like at the beginning, you're just an asshole, and then your master's like, fuck you, you need to learn how to be an assassin again.
I'm gonna stab
and then he just takes all your shit, and then you have to do the whole video game thing where at the very beginning of the game you have all this awesome shit. Like another game that does this is an old game called Prototype, where you have the first like hour of the game, you have every ability, and you're just absolutely shredding people. And it's like how a game is like, look how fucking fun this is, and then they take it away.
And they take it all away.
You can build it away, build it up.
You gotta
so
earn
you
it.
Get all that shit back, But
the
first one, I think it was awesome for what it was. It was definitely good enough to where it didn't fail, which obviously is good, because I don't think we'd have any of these games if it failed.
The beginnings of the lore in that game are really good because you get to talk to the girl that's sitting in there. I forget her name. Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy.
And
Vidic
so
is the other guy.
You sit and talk to her, and you can get on her computer, and eventually you're going to be able to get onto the main guy's computer. Like, so you're learning bits and pieces. I think that's really cool. My least favorite part is how the horse runs.
I know, God. I was waiting to say something about it.
I honestly didn't even remember there was a horse in the first game. I thought.
Oh yeah.
You can't run around that map just on foot.
Oh man, it's so annoying.
You obviously haven't seen me play any Assassin's Creed
or any game. Sarah refuses to ride horses in any game she ever plays.
It's just not something that I think about. I
just run.
I just run.
Even in Breath of the Wild, that huge ass map, she would just forget about her horse and just be like.
Yeah, and then I just climb
for like an hour and a half.
Would go as the crow flies, and I just go over whatever obstacle. And
would never run around anything. Just go straight up it. Straight up.
That's what I do like about the new games is like you kind of you can keep a horse. In the first one, you can't. They're just everywhere, and you just
can't even. You don't even keep one. You don't keep a horse until. Man, you don't. You just don't keep a horse. In any of them until you
not like Breath of the Wild,
Origins.
where literally you have to go back and find your horse if you leave him like Sarah does.
So
constantly.
Talking about the lore of that game, that was really good. I liked how when you earn your Assassin's Blade, you gotta lose your finger. It's like a sacrifice. It shows your dedication to the
creed.
Exactly. I thought that was very interesting. It's like, wow, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need that finger.
It shows your commitment.
I guess I could have also explained what the creed is.
Yeah, what is the creed?
I guess, hold on, I'll look it up. I know it's like, obviously everybody knows the main 2 lines, right? Nothing is true, everything is permitted, right? But there's a whole fucking giant thing. You guys keep talking about the first game.
Yeah.
But those are my gripes. And I do think, besides the gripes, that they did things really well in that game. Like Matt said earlier, it didn't fail.
Yeah, like I said, it's a really interesting concept. Like, I feel like the idea of using your ancestors' DNA was such a interesting story that it's not something you've heard before.
And it sucks you in, and you're like, oh, what else can you learn from your DNA? And
yeah. So I think that was pretty neat, and the way they kind of went about it of, later down the lines of when you get the bleed over effects, I think was really interesting, and kind of being able to tie it into present day. Although everybody hates playing as present day, you just want to get back in, but
yeah.
All right, so here are the 3 tenets of the creed are stay your blade from the flesh of an innocent, hide in plain sight, and never compromise the brotherhood. And then the 3 ironies. Fuck it. There's a lot of shit. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Okay.
The notion of the apples of Eden really was interesting too.
Yeah.
Especially in the first one. Like, I'd never even seen something like that. It was like the supernatural, crazy.
Yeah, that was. I did want to talk about the modern day stuff. So obviously we can't really talk. We've pretty much delved pretty deep into as far as we're probably going to go. God damn it! As far as we're going to go in the first game, the first game was really not anywhere near as deep until the last act, where you basically figure out that your master, you're at the very beginning of the game, you find the Grand Master of the Templars and you steal the Apple of Eden, which is a precursor artifact that is really powerful. That you then later learn was made by a civilization that existed before humanity. And that guy takes it from you at the beginning, and the reason why you have to like relearn how to be an assassin is because you basically get your comrades killed because you're just like, oh, I fucking got this guy. Don't fucking worry, and you just charge straight headlong into this guy, and you fight him, and you get your ass whooped, and then your buddies get killed, and he takes the apple.
One of the guys gets killed. The other one tells on you.
This is all from memory from the last time I played the game, like 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah, I'm just helping you because I just played it.
Thank you. I remember the main story beats, but not a whole lot else. But then you go through the game trying to kill that guy and recover the artifact. When you finally do, you give it back to Al Mualim, who's the the master assassin, and he basically uses it against. He wants to impose the creed onto innocent people and the world, basically. So then you end up killing him. He wasn't a Templar, but he was. The power of the apple had corrupted him. So go ahead.
Was this the one that had those, like, investigate this painting and find the clue in the painting?
No, that is Assassin's Creed 2.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a minute for me.
But yeah, so then the modern day stuff. So you play as a guy named Desmond Miles, who's actually the main character of the Assassin's Creed story. You were abducted, you're a bartender, but you have this lineage of assassins in your DNA, and you're basically kidnapped by the modern day Templars, which is disguised by a corporation called Abstergo Industries. And they're basically forcing you to relive the memories of Altair, which is your ancestor, because they knew that he had found the Apple of Eden and they want to know where it is. I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to see they're trying to get from the first game.
It's funny that Abstergo is they say it's a big pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
But they're looking for the Apple of Eden and doing all this DNA technology, genetic kind of stuff.
Well, that's how they can get away with it. They're saying they're doing like human trials and testing and stuff on these people, and that's why they have them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's under the guise of a pharmaceutical company. So they get all this government funding and shit also and stuff like that.
And the way that they found Desmond was weird. Well, not weird, I guess, but
I don't remember how they found him. How did they find him?
He was like off the grid, right? But he wanted a motorcycle license, so they found him through the DMV.
That's awesome.
So it shows they're in the government.
Yeah, after everything he did to stay off grid, he was like, "Oh, guilty pleasure, motorcycle license."
Because his family is in the assassin, or he comes from a lineage of assassins, and he does know that. And that's why I believe he went off the grid to avoid the assassins, because he didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, he didn't want to be a part of it anymore. But he also knew that there was like danger in being found out. But he was like, nah, let me get a motorcycle license. That's not going to trace back to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of how the first one ends. There's not really a huge cliffhanger other than Vidic's assistant Lucy basically shows you that she's also an assassin by her finger being removed at the end of the game, and then that was Assassin's Creed 1. I mean, there weren't really. I mean, like the story. Most of the story you get is from lore between assassinations when Al-Mualim is like reading you the fucking Bible between each kill, because he'll stand there and talk for 30 minutes, it seems like sometimes. He doesn't literally read the Bible, but he reads, like, he just talks for fucking ever. Oh my god. That's one of the biggest takeaways I have from that game, is just how long he stands there and talks in his monotone voice. Oh my god. The gameplay in the game was really good back in the day. I'd probably, honestly, if you've never played an Assassin's Creed, I would not recommend playing this game. I would just recommend watching it, because if you've never played it and you have zero nostalgia, it's probably unplayable. You will
I wouldn't say
rip your face off at how mad you get about the climbing and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say it's unplayable, but it is frustrating at points because he just likes to jump off of stuff.
And this is as someone who likes Assassin's Creed already. So I'm just saying, if you've never played an Assassin's Creed, or only played like the 3 newest ones, Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla, I would just not even play it. I would just watch a video.
Yeah, just get the story from it. It's not worth going back and playing unless
it's hard to play.
Or I just really like the series and would like to play the first one.
So yeah, consider yourself warned. Back in the day, it was great. I mean, the game's 13 years old now, so it's aged quite a bit.
People who were born in 2007 are 13 now. Good lord.
Yeah, Cheyenne can do math, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so now I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the second game. So where at least I'm sure most of us have played. All of us I know in here have played this game. I've seen and played it for Sarah, so I've seen her play it, and I also played it for her. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the regular version of Assassin's Creed 2, not the deluxe or the version in the SAO trilogy, which is shittier than the normal version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about how annoying that part was.
Yeah, it was terrible.
We'll get to it.
But yeah, so I guess I think I remember buying Assassin's Creed 2 on release day at the GameStop on Monticello Avenue near my mom's house. Because I had just played the first game and really liked it a lot. I think maybe a couple weeks before, finished a couple weeks or a month or two before the second game. But yeah, so Assassin's Creed 2 came out 2 years later in 2009. I got it on release day. When did you guys end up getting it?
I don't think
if you remember.
Until 2010, so a year later. I think I got it for Christmas in 2010.
I waited a couple months to get it.
So, in one of our earlier podcasts, obviously this is my favorite Assassin's Creed game, because it's the only one that was in my top 10 games list. So, this is my favorite game. But I'll let you guys, or if Sarah wants to talk about it at first.
I mean, I can talk.
About we'll talk about Ezio and all that stuff first, and then we'll get into the modern day stuff. Or we can start there because that's how the game starts. You guys want to do that? Do the modern day because that's a lot quicker.
Sure, fast. Whatever you want.
Yeah. So at the very beginning of the game, Lucy breaks you out of Abstergo. She gets retconned to having a finger again. Because at some point during the game, they're like,
a little obvious.
They're like, oh yeah, they used to do that, but we modified the assassin's blade, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. Which the reason why they get their fingers cut off is actually shown in Assassin's Creed Origins, if you guys have played that, but we'll talk about that later. So at the beginning, they break you out. You go to this, I don't know, warehouse, I guess, that the assassins have commandeered, and they're gonna make you into an assassin, they say, and Desmond's just like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Fuck Abstergo and those bastards, those Templar bastards, for keeping me in that room for probably a month.
This table.
Yeah, Megan lay on this table and go to sleep and stuff.
Yeah.
But the way they're going to do that is through this thing I guess they call the bleeding effect. So the animus, because it's reading your DNA for these memories, it according to Lucy, who is like an animus tech or knows about the animus or whatever,
we're gonna get there, Jake. Jake just talked about this guy.
The fucking douchebag info guy. Yeah, calm down, buddy. We'll get there. So yeah, she tells you there's a side effect to the animus called the bleeding effect, where your real body, like sees the memories of your ancestors and like carries over the muscle memory and the skills that you learn while watching the memories and stuff, because it's already stored in your DNA. So your muscles like gain that muscle memory. Yeah. So you gain the abilities that
all those skill sets.
Yeah, all those skills and stuff. So they're going to use the bleeding effect to train you, and they're going to use this assassin Ezio Auditore, because he went like his entire life. They're gonna watch through relive his entire life. So stop it. Stop. They're gonna go and relive his entire life to train you, and also like that was the whole point. They weren't even gonna use it to like find a piece of Eden or anything like that. So the original goal was just to train Desmond into an assassin. Just train him. Right. That's it. So that's the whole concept for the modern day storyline for this game.
Right.
All right. Who wants to start on the actual game though?
Well, do you want to mention how much of an asshole?
All right, fine. Jake wants us to talk about Sean, who I'm sure all of us hate because he's an absolute asshole for no reason. He's just apparently an assassin who is just a British prick. Every single fucking time you ever talk to him, he's the biggest asswipe you would ever know, ever see, ever. He's just a dick. That's all I have to say.
Every single line he has.
He's also completely worthless and does nothing.
Nothing to help.
Yeah. But always acts like he's the one carrying all the burden.
He's just a snarky bastard.
He's a snarky, sassy asswipe. All right, there you go. We've dedicated a little time to Sean. Fuck you, Sean. That's all you get. Because he's never any better. He's always an asshole. Jake says it's such an inconvenience to talk to him.
True.
Yeah, and
Jake, you're dead. You're dead, Jake. We can't talk about you. Sorry. All right. Yeah. So who wants to start with Ezio's story?
I like how it starts off with his birth, and then like you see him as a kid, and it's like you get to know him. Like you see his journey. You don't really get that with any of the other ones, as far as I'm aware.
And then and then you see his dad and brother die.
Mm-hmm. And you understand his quest, like his
plight. You really feel for him.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's like because he's like a young man when you're doing.
He's 16 or I think he's 16 or 17.
Yeah, so like a teenager, and then just completely devastated by the fact that his dad and then his older brother
and his younger brother.
Oh yeah, and his younger brother.
All the other men in his family except for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
he was supposed to be taken, but he wasn't at the house when his family was taken.
Yeah. And the fact that he goes to try and like help them, but he's helpless. He can't do it. And then because he doesn't have the skills.
Speak louder.
Oh, I was saying that.
Yeah, I was just telling you to speak louder.
Okay,
that's all. But I think the reason why his character sticks with people more than obviously really before any of the other assassins is mainly just because you spend the first 2 hours of the game just kind of running around causing trouble in Venice, or not in Venice, Jesus Christ, in Florence, and then running some courier missions for your dad, which at the time, so your dad is about to present some legal documents or evidence against another family or another man who is a head of another family in Florence.
A prominent family.
Yeah, a prominent family. He's going to present evidence of him murdering someone. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens that this other man was a Templar, so they end up framing your father, Ezio's father, and all of your brothers as being quote unquote conspirators. So they all get killed, and again, you weren't able to really do anything because you lacked the skills at that point to help them. You find out your father was an assassin, but you don't really understand what that means or what that is at that point. But like he goes immediately. He gets like pretty much immediately within another hour or two of gameplay. You go and you kill the guy that was the first guy on the surface level who's quote unquote responsible for your family being pretty much torn apart. And Ezio's then like, yeah, that's enough for me. I killed the guy who's responsible or whatever. But you go to your uncle's villa, and he
sequence. I thought that was really cool. I liked him getting to actually have somebody to like show him.
Yeah. So he goes to his uncle's villa, who then kind of shows him like actually tells him what his father did, because he never actually told him he was an assassin or anything like that. Fills him in, and basically Ezio comes around and decides, all right, I guess I'll do this because the greater good or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ezio as a character is a really good character. Mainly, I think it's because the other assassins that you play as don't get the same amount of, I want to say, screen time, but they don't get as much of that as Ezio did, because he has 3 games. No one else has more than 1. While it's well deserved because he's a great character. He was also written very well because the original writers were still, behind Assassin's Creed at this point, which eventually they were. They didn't. I don't remember exactly when they left, but that's beside the point, I guess. But I mean, like, so the gameplay in this game, I think it really, Assassin's Creed 2 took everything from the first game and just made it way, way, way better.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I was gonna say, as somebody who doesn't really play a whole lot, not as much video games as the rest of you guys, it was something. While it definitely was a little bit of a learning curve, but it was something I was actually able to pick up. This is coming from like grade A button masher over here, but I think the most frustrating thing for me was trying to figure out like the climbing, the puzzle kind of aspect of it, because I kind of had to backtrack from where I played Odyssey so much, where I could just climb anything I wanted. I had to, kind of figure out the footholds and trying to figure out the best way to do it. So definitely fell on the floor a lot.
Yeah, and that was one thing that definitely changed as Assassin's Creed went on. Was originally the climbing aspect was supposed to be almost like a puzzle. Like you were supposed to figure out how to get up to the top, not just I'm just gonna fucking scale this like Spider-Man, like you can in the new games. I mean, you can just go straight up every single side of any, like you just straight up anything. Doesn't even matter anymore.
Nope.
I know, it's nice.
But I know, Cheyenne, that this game has some significance to you, so I would like you to expand. If you can.
This was my first Assassin's Creed game that I played, and I really fell in love with the series through this game, and I played it all the time. I didn't even care that there was a first one. All I wanted to do was play this one, and I loved that we could travel to different parts of Italy. Like in the first Assassin's Creed, you kind of can, and then in like go to different places, but I just love that you could you could visit Venice, and you can go to Rome, and you can go to you start out in Florence, and all this different traveling places. And I grew up Italian, and my dad's super Italian and very Catholic, and so I've always been really drawn to wanting to visit Italy and wanting to know more about my culture as an Italian and all that. And it's just like opened up my I don't know, my dreams, I guess. Like I was just like, I have to go there. One day I have to go there. And I just loved playing it and loved learning about, because you can walk up to one of the churches and it'll tell you about this church in real life. Like it had historical aspects of it that were true, and then the fantasy kind of like aspects, and it really melded those two aspects together really well. And then in 2015 I did actually get to go to Italy, and I saw the Colosseum, which was my favorite place to go in Rome in Assassin's Creed, and I cried because of how beautiful it was, and just because of how much I've always wanted to go there. And Assassin's Creed, you can actually go there, and it's just like it is in real life. It's amazing.
I think something that Assassin's Creed 2 did really well versus the first game, and I don't know, it was probably intentional because of the time period that the first game took place in, but every location is really dull and dark and really drab and just like,
the buildings are very
it just looks like it's
and
sad. It just looks sad everywhere. And then you go, and it's so stark in contrast to Renaissance era Italy, where everyone's happy and the Italy at that time was booming with creativity and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think Da Vinci is a really cool
and
aspect.
And with the historical aspect, this was the first one that really, really, really integrated historical characters into the story. So Leonardo da Vinci is actually a friend of Ezio's family.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to Leonardo shortly after his family's killed, and he has him craft the assassin's blade for him, because I mean, everybody knows that Leonardo da Vinci was a man of many different crafts.
Yes.
Anatomy, painting, architecture, inventing, like everything. He did everything. So every time Ezio needs something made for him, that's where he goes. He goes to Leonardo, and he's a pretty integral part of the story.
Yes.
And he's a really cool character, and it's really awesome to get to see that. Obviously, Ezio being a fictional character, but it's still really cool to see someone that you're playing as interact with such a historical figure like Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, and I love how much care they put into getting the maps right, like exactly how it was in 1500s Renaissance Italy, and how the Colosseum looked back then and versus how it looks now. And it's amazing how much detail they put into it for a 2009 game. I'm not saying the graphics are, amazing. You're gonna play the new game, and it's gonna be
the art style for at least 2 and 1 really has not aged very well.
No, but I feel like the care and the detail that was put into this game still translate today. Now, the first one, like you said, was definitely lacking in everything kind of did feel like it still does feel dull, and like there's no detail in it. The buildings are all kind of uniform in the same color, but yeah, you get to Assassin's Creed 2 and you get to look at all these different paintings, you get to collect them, which I love the collecting aspect of video games.
Oh man, you love Assassin's Creed, and then
I know, I just love
gotta collect all those feathers. Hell yeah.
I know, and the flags in the first one.
The flags in the first one could suck it.
I keep getting stuck on finding the flags, and I'm like, stop, finish the story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotta get the next flag.
I know.
Oh wait, no. What am I doing? Gotta play the game.
Yep. I'm like, flag. I'm just a collector. I love the collecting aspect of it. But finding the paintings is probably my favorite part, like going in and buying the different paintings, and you can see them in your villa. I love that.
I don't think we bought one.
No. Well, we were just trying to beat the game, so Sarah could see it.
You guys are not as fun.
Single thing like that.
I think we collected 3 feathers.
That was only just because they happened to be in the path I was running.
Yeah.
When the game had just come out, I had downloaded a walkthrough for just the feathers so that I could find them all.
Wow.
Of course. Gotta get that auditory cape.
I know. I just wanted the feathers. About the cape, I just wanted all the feathers.
Stop it.
I'm still
right,
like
Chris,
that.
Chris, talk about Assassin's Creed 2 while I get these dogs under control.
I liked how they really expanded on what Assassin's Creed 1 did right. And I like that they added the shops, and there's dyes to your armor and your stuff. They let you customize it, so you're not just wearing a fucking white and red robe. And
you guys continue. I'm gonna pee real quick.
I also like that they added. They always do include Altair's robes too.
Yeah.
In each game, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, in each to tie them in together.
But in Assassin's Creed 2, I really like. I don't know. The story's really good. I don't know. It's just. See, my brain mixes up Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed 2.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stay only in Assassin's Creed 2.
I really like how you put it at the beginning. It's like they really capitalized on what Assassin's Creed 1 did right in Assassin's Creed 2. Like they were really trying. They didn't put out the same game. You know,
Exactly.
You could tell that they tried to take those elements that really worked and make them better. The horses were way better in Assassin's
They were
Creed.
way better. They were way better. I did ride them a couple times.
A couple.
Yeah, when they made me. I was really shitty at driving the wagon with Da Vinci. I flipped that thing a couple times.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah, I have a really bad habit of I get really frustrated and then I just hand the controller to Matt and make Matt do it. So I just have this built-in, person to beat things for me. Yeah. Yeah, like any of the where you have to race somebody on the rooftops, I would just eat shit every time. And I would do it maybe about 4 or 5 times of just like I would just get to a certain point and then just eat shit off the side of a building. And then I would want to get up, like just give up, but I would just give it to Matt and let Matt do it. So
when you got pickpocketed, were you just like, screw it?
No, most of the time I could catch the pickpockets, but I am really bad at running over the top of the rooftops. Like going from, I don't know what it is, but I just cannot, like, you have to hold down so many buttons and steer, and my hands just cannot do it. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it.
I had a bad habit of misjudging the jump and then being just a little short, and he won't grab the fucking ledge, and he just to the ground.
Yep. No, I'm just thinking about there's a couple times where I just would try, and it just would not work.
I loved when I was climbing up the top and I accidentally double clicked A and he would just turn around and jump
off. Yeah.
Time to die.
Yeah. He's ready. He's ready to go home.
Apparently, he's ready.
Yeah. Sometimes though, it would go into that animation where you land in a hay bale or something,
and it'd be like, unexpected. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God that was a jumping off point. There's some pigeons up there pooping right there for me.
I know. So convenient. Such a convenient marker.
Look at all this shit. I can jump off here.
I can jump off. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Those were like the only things that I really had a hard time with. But like I said, even for me, like, grade A button masher, like I was able to actually use the combat, which was nice. So
I agree with our ghost in the chat. I get the falling feeling too when I did accidentally jump off and he would like just go soaring and hit the ground or whatever I did. Yeah, that falling feeling never goes away, Jake.
I found hiding to be a little bit difficult in that game.
Yeah, it is kind of hard.
Like you're evading and you're like, better hide in this little fucking behind a cloth on the roof.
Yeah.
And
then they just come up to you anyways.
It still wasn't much less video game.
They take the swords and just stab into the...
Yeah. Like they know they didn't see which path you went, but they always like they're drug sniffing dogs or something. They just find
they know exactly which hiding spot you decided on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we'll probably deep dive in a minute about the overall arcing story of Assassin's Creed 2, but I did want to say something that I think it did very well was it really went in hard on introducing new gameplay elements and different ways to play the game versus the first game. I mean, you're constantly getting new gear and stuff like that. Like you get the dual blades. This is the game that introduced the dual blades.
Did they introduce bombs?
Blades. Yeah, it introduced bombs as well. But so when I did hint earlier about the lore of the cutting off the ring finger thing. So this is where it is stated when Leonardo fixed the assassin's blade the first time. The first time you bring it to him, and he's like, at the end, he's like, "All right, now we got to cut off your ring finger, and then we're done." Unfortunately, it's just a sacrifice. Like these blades require a sacrifice and like a commitment to the wielder. And Ezio's like,
all right,
fine, do it. And he like puts his finger out on the table, and then Leonardo slams a butcher's knife down right next to it. And he goes, "Oh, I'm just fucking with you. It's been modified. Don't worry about it. That used to be a sacrifice that you have to make, but it's okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah, no, you're good."
Didn't they they still symbolically do the sacrifice with a brand though, right?
Yes. Now that happens later in the game after Ezio has gone through. So that actually happens, I believe, right after one of the greatest segments in gaming, Carnivale. Which is awesome. So good. I love that segment in the game. It decorates the entire city of Venice with fireworks and jesters and fire breathers and stuff over the whole city. And it's just really atmospheric and really fun. And like, so to assassinate your target at the end of that that section of the game, you have to get a golden mask to get into his party. So like Carnivale in Italy, and especially in Venice, is like it's like a celebration. I don't know how long it is. I know it's at least one night, but it's a celebration where everyone walks around wearing masks, and you can go out and just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Kind of like Mardi Gras
anonymously. Here. What'd you say?
Kind of like Mardi Gras.
Yeah. It's kind of like Mardi Gras. Yeah, exactly.
But it's a little bit different, obviously. But it's a party like Mardi Gras.
Yeah, it's just a giant party throughout the entire city where everybody wears masks and everybody's anonymous and stuff like that. And it's just it's fun. But so you got to do a bunch of these like carnival games and stuff. Like you've got to walk up and charm a bunch of women to get their ribbons, and whoever gets the most wins that competition. And then
capture the flag.
Yeah, capture the flag and stuff like that. It's really fun. But at the beginning of that, that's when you get your pistol. So you get a gun attached to the hidden blade that you can shoot to assassinate people with, which was super awesome.
But it's so hard to aim.
It is a little annoying to aim. You have to like target someone and then hold it like, and then let go of the gun or the
Carnivale lasts for 2 weeks in Italy.
Holy
today.
shit! Okay, all right, there you go.
Sorry, cool. Just a side note.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's so many things
the pistol was
they
really
added
hard
in the game.
to aim.
Yeah, it was really, really cumbersome and annoying.
Yeah.
I think they took a little bit of liberties there. I don't know if they quite had firearms like yet in 1480s, the 1480s.
But Da Vinci, man.
The 1480s.
Yeah, Da Vinci, exactly. But he also designed a flying machine in that game.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a mission where you have to fly to get into the Castillo, right? In Venice.
Yeah.
Because so it's really well guarded. You have to use the flying machine to get into it. Which was another also iconic mission, also iconically annoying and hard to control.
And video gamey. Also,
and very video gamey, yeah. Because we got to fly over the bonfires to keep the thing up in the air.
To keep the,
Good thing there's like a path.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
a path of bonfire.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess unless you guys like, I don't know. The gameplay, the atmosphere of the game, the time period, everything was it was perfect. It was executed perfectly. It's just a great game. But I guess we can talk about I guess we can go ahead and talk about the story, because the story for this game is probably above and beyond all the rest of the games.
Yeah.
So the quest is to basically, Ezio's quest is to kind of like, after he figures out, it's a revenge tale that spans, I believe, in that game. At the end of the game, he's 40. So he was 16 or 17 at the very beginning of the game, and it takes him that many years until he's 40 years old to finally, get to the end of the game, and exact revenge on the guy Rodrigo Borgia is the head and the Grand Master of the Templars. So if you don't know who that is, that's another historical figure who eventually became Pope.
Mm-hmm.
So he becomes Pope at the end of the game, and you have to go to Rome with the Apple of Eden to go confront him.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the game, you open up a vault in the Vatican, and you go in after beating him. You go in there, and that's when you finally get the breakdown of like who the people were that came before the ancient civilization.
Mm-hmm.
You get this whole spiel about
blow his mind. He has no idea what's going on.
So the whole time, it's blowing his mind, and then at the very end, like as she's talking to him, she just like looks at the camera, and she's like, I'm not talking to you. Like basically, like you need to shut up because I'm talking to Desmond, and he's like, who the fuck is Desmond? And Desmond obviously is the guy that is watching all of this through the Animus, and
who you're playing in present day.
Yeah, that's the present day protagonist, and he's just like, I don't understand. What are you talking? Like he's like, I have so many questions, and then she just vanishes, and he's like, what the fuck? And then they pull out Desmond, and then they there's like the credits are rolling, and the Templars come and they attack, and you defend your little warehouse area or whatever. But that's the end of Assassin's Creed 2.
Doesn't someone get shot?
Did Lucy get shot?
Yeah, right.
No, I don't
Was
think
that
so.
Was that Brotherhood?
Brotherhood.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So yeah, I guess that's a pretty good. I mean, unless you guys have anything else you want to say about Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to roll through these other ones faster, otherwise we're gonna be here for 6 hours.
We're gonna be here. I've already said this is gonna be the longest one. We're an hour and 20 minutes in, and we're about to start talking about Brotherhood. These other ones are gonna go faster because
I was gonna say,
I feel like
played most of them. Yeah,
and Assassin's Creed 2, I feel like has the most depth out of all of them.
100%, yes, 100%.
So I feel like I think it was right of us to take an hour to talk about Assassin's Creed.
I mean, we could probably talk about Assassin's Creed 2 more if we really.
Well, yeah, but I feel like we've really covered the base.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I guess we'll move on to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This is the start in the timeline of what happened to Assassin's Creed, where I think they really got way too over their head, like way too over their skis.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the yearly release cycle began. So Assassin's Creed 2 came out in 2009. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood came out the next fall of 2010. And thus began basically a yearly cycle for the next several years. So originally when I played Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I really, 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 really liked it. I thought it was really good. It's honestly, it's significantly shorter. It's significantly shorter than Assassin's Creed 2. And for me, I would say significantly would be like 3 or 4 hours, which it's definitely 3 or 4 hours shorter, at least, than Assassin's Creed 2. But I guess again, this one takes place pretty much right after Assassin's Creed 2 ends. When you get back in the Animus, you pick up in the vault. You watch the whole speech again from the lady talking to Ezio, and him being really confused and stuff. But yeah, so this one takes place all in Rome. It has a huge map. It's way too big. It's way too big. On my replay, I think I kind of dislike this game a little more than I did originally. I don't know if it's just because it hasn't aged well, but I really liked the story still. But I want to talk about the gameplay and stuff first from what I noticed when I replayed it. So a lot of the missions, in my opinion, in this game are very just like it's not really like you're just going and meeting a dude and you're talking to somebody and then you're like, oh shit, and then something comes up and then you do that mission for seemingly no reason. And then you go and you talk to someone else again, and it's the same shit. And the story behind it is really nice, but I found the missions in this game really grindy. these are my notes for it. So I've got under Brotherhood, great villain. Cesare Borgia is the main antagonist in this, which is Rodrigo Borgia's son.
Mm-hmm.
The combat though is much improved. They added a kill chain ability where you could
Oh,
can
I do
actually be
love that.
offensive.
Yes.
So Assassin's Creed 2, you basically had to just sit there and wait for someone to attack, and then you just hit the counter button and you kill them.
Yeah, you did the same thing in Assassin's Creed 1, and it's frustrating.
It is very frustrating waiting for someone to attack you because
nice
just endlessly block you. But yeah, this game, once you kill one person, you can just hit X and just chain all of them and kill everybody. It's great.
Is this the one with the towers? I hated that.
I did not like
the Borgia towers are really annoying.
Yes.
They're so frustrating.
This one, it got way over the top with collectibles and busy work.
Yeah.
Which are Borgia towers and fucking more feathers and fucking Borgia flags and there's 100 of each.
Walk around to do a mission and I'd get 1 inch in the red and then 40 dudes are coming after me and I'm like, I don't want to do this right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so the missions are kind of a grind. There's a lot of long, extended climbing missions in this game, and a lot of really long, like tracking, like eavesdropping missions and stuff that gets really tedious.
You just gotta follow behind somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But and then you gotta hide because they'll turn around.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
Do you think the devs put in the Borgia towers and these tracking missions and did all these redundant, I'll call them tropes, just to extend the gameplay?
100%. Yeah, I beat this game in 2 days.
They're like
in 2 days. Yeah, I beat it in probably 10 hours.
Instead of making a game that has content-driven story, this one's more about just,
especially being released in 1 year,
which is what I was gonna say. So this is what starts the trend of collectibles. Remember in my spiel about Assassin's Creed as a series, and this is where they start adding all these things that are some of the most depraved things that people just people really just don't like about gaming. And that's just the endless collectibles. Especially Ubisoft is really bad with this.
Yeah,
where they sacrifice, they supplement collectibles and stuff like that as gameplay and making the game better, because they do the same thing with like almost all their Ubisoft games, where like Far Cry again, you have to go and climb all the towers, the radio towers, just like Assassin's Creed, with the viewpoints, and there's just endless collectibles of like hundreds of everything. There's like there's 100 feathers and 100 Borgia flags, and there's probably like 20 Borgia towers to get rid of in this game. But I mean, with all that being said, I guess it sounds like we're shitting on the game. But I don't want to shit on this game because I did like it a lot. The story is very good. There is a twist at the end of the Desmond story where you finally, so this one you are looking for where Ezio hid the Apple of Eden at the end of this game. So during the course of the game, the villa in Monteriggioni, which is where basically is the assassin base at the moment, gets attacked at the very beginning of the game by Cesare Borgia, because you actually let Rodrigo Borgia live at the end of Assassin's Creed 2, because Ezio is just like, I've won, it doesn't matter, he can live, it's fine, I've won, it doesn't matter, I don't need to kill him, because he also sees, like, he's killed so many people also during the course of the game that it's like, at this point he's not really any better than him, it's just a difference of opinion to him. So he's just like, I don't need to kill him, it's fine, he's made his point, he's won. Dogs, please stop.
He saw his hypocrisy.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And he wanted to basically bury the hatchet and just move on.
Yeah.
And then Cesare Borgia says, nah, fuck that shit, because he is a prick and he's an egotistical, maniacal psychopath.
Yep.
And he basically attacks the villa with his entire army and destroys it, kills Mario Auditore, which is your uncle who taught you everything you knew. They steal the Apple of Eden, and you have to go on a quest to kill Cesare and the Borgias and get the apple back and go hide it so no one else can ever find it again. So that's the main premise of the game.
Another revenge quest.
Another kind of, it's more of like a finish what finished what I should have finished, and I don't know. Oh
All
man,
of your assassin friends give you a lot of grief about it in the beginning.
Yeah, everybody shits on Ezio like, you didn't fucking kill him, you piece of shit. Ah.
I would have too.
Yeah. But then you wouldn't have had Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Cheyenne. So come on. Obviously, you shouldn't have killed him. But anyway, yeah. So I think this is really where they started to kind of like the game's quality. Like a lot of people say that this is the best Assassin's Creed game, and I really disagree with that. It's not as long as Assassin's Creed 2, and I don't think the story is anywhere near as well crafted.
Yep.
Sarah lost interest pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Because the missions are grindy. They're just
maybe they say.
Go ahead.
Maybe they say it's the best one because it had that kill chain thing that you mentioned earlier.
The gameplay, yes,
that part was
100%.
Like,
the gameplay
the combat
is
is
way
improved.
Yeah,
and the graphics, even a year later, it looks much better.
Mm-hmm.
There are things I like where you like invest in the city and build up the city to get more money and stuff like that. That's really cool.
Is that the one where you have like all these assassins that you send out on missions?
Yeah.
And,
Yes, this was the first one.
Constantly micromanaging them.
More busy work to make the game seem like there's more stuff in it. So in this game, this was the first one that they call it Assassin's Creed Brotherhood because this is the game where Ezio becomes the Grand Master of the Assassins, basically.
Yeah.
Because he's already dedicated 20 something years on this quest, and he's probably almost at this point the most senior member. So he then becomes the mentor. They don't call him Grandmaster, they call him mentor. So the leader of the assassins is called the mentor or whatever. So he starts rebuilding the Brotherhood in this game, and you start recruiting people and stuff like that, and you can send them on missions and all this other shit that's really annoying that you definitely don't ever have to do because I didn't do a single second of it when I was playing through the game.
That's where I lost it. I just stopped playing at that point.
And he says the exact same line to every single one of them, and he just walks up to them after you save them. He goes, "The liberation of Roma has begun," every single fucking time. And it's like that was like burned into the recesses of my mind because when I was replaying it separately from Sarah, but she got there first because she started playing it before me, and it just brought back like PTSD, and I was like, oh God, I haven't heard him say that in years, but Jesus, it instantly just like it just was like scar tissue, man.
Yeah, muscle memory.
Yeah, because that's the only thing he says, and if you play the game like the way they want you to play it, you are constantly saving people. Oh my God, so much. He says it so many fucking times.
Resquiat in pace.
And that's what I said. He says that a lot too.
Yeah, but that's like his thing. He's just telling people to rest in peace in Italian.
And then the liberation of Roma has begun. Like, okay.
Oh yeah, but I think this is where, in terms of overall story quality, Assassin's Creed really started to fall. In my opinion, I don't know. You guys, I've voiced my opinion on Brotherhood now for the last probably 10 minutes, so you guys go ahead.
I mean, we've kind of
my voice needs a little rest. It's getting a little strained.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of interjected in between, but like I said, it just didn't hold my attention as much. Sorry. This has been a long time of sitting in one place for me.
It's an hour and a half.
I know, I don't sit that still for
You'd be sitting on the couch.
Be laying on the couch is different. I can move, I can adjust. I've got to stay in the frame. Anyways, that it didn't hold my attention quite as much, obviously, because I didn't finish it, of Assassin's Creed 2. While it did, have some interesting story points, I didn't find it as like captivating and I need to find out what happens next, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's
where do we leave off with Desmond Miles in that one?
So at the end of this game, you go to you find out that that it was being stored in a vault at the bottom of the Colosseum, like underneath the Colosseum. You go there, and as you claim the apple for the assassins in modern time, and it basically takes control of your body and forces you to kill Lucy at the end of the game.
I remember that. Yeah,
I remember that.
That's where it hard cuts, and that's where you end.
And then you move on to Revelations.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you guys want to keep talking about Brotherhood at all? No? Okay. I've actually got a good amount of notes on Revelations because thoroughly enjoyed this game a lot.
That was my favorite one.
That was my least favorite one.
Cheyenne, you need to replay this game. You need to play it. You need to replay it.
I lost interest. Okay, so I'm with Sarah on Brotherhood, like I'm her, but in Revelations.
Yeah, because all right, I wanted to. Well, hold on. I remember how long it took you to finish Brotherhood. So when Cheyenne and we forged our friendship on me giving her shit about not finishing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yep.
So we had a class. It was oceanography in an 11th grade.
Yep. And it was like the first time we met officially because, I mean, you were in band, but I was in honor band and you were in symphonic band. Yes. So we were in 2 different band groups, so we never met that way.
I also didn't. So here's also another short little snippet. So we were both in band, and every time we would go on our band trip, like at the end of the year, we would play a game called Assassin, where you would get someone's name on a piece of paper, and you would have to like get water on them to kill them, or touch them with like water on your finger or something, like to kill them, quote unquote, you know. But there was a rule where there had to be one witness, but it couldn't be more than one, or something like that, right?
Right, yeah. Only one person could see you. And if nobody was around, it didn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
If there was more people around, it didn't count.
Yeah, so 10th grade, I get Cheyenne as my and I
target. Had just moved there.
And she had just moved. I had literally no idea who she was at all. I didn't know she existed. I was like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? And I was sitting by, I can't remember who I was sitting by on the bus, and I was like, who is this?
No, we were at the Crab Shack.
It was it wasn't Joe's Crab Shack, but it was like in Myrtle Beach. It was that restaurant with the giant crab in front of it, and I remember because that was the first meal I had in like a week, like full meal, because I had like a stomach bug, and then literally came back to school the day before the band trip so that I could still go on the band trip. Yep. But yeah, so.
And then they passed out the names while we were eating at the buffet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't even get out of the table without dying, so it didn't matter. I got killed at the table, and it's like, it wasn't Captain George's. I don't think.
No, it wasn't. It was in Myrtle Beach.
I know there is one in Myrtle Beach. There is a Captain George's in Myrtle Beach, but it was
there
not.
is? Oh, I thought that was just a Williamsburg thing.
There is one. But it was a giant. There was a giant crab statue. Anyway, we're so far off topic right now.
Yeah, sorry.
And that's a different show.
But anyway. You had no idea who I was. But then
and then we met in oceanography, like legit, and then I gave her shit about not finishing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood every day until she finally finished it. I think, which was after that class had ended. Right? Or did you actually finish it?
No, I finished it before the class ended. Okay. However, when Revelations came out, you were giving me shit for that, and I never finished it.
You have never finished that game still?
No, I think I did finish Revelations, actually. I take that back. But you gave me shit for that, and that took me way longer to finish because I was so uninterested.
I want you to replay this game. So we're going to talk about Revelations.
I will. I want to replay all of them.
My first and foremost, so this game takes... So... You're Desmond in this game. You're just like in a coma in the Animus the entire time because when you kill Lucy at the end of Brotherhood, he just like goes into a coma. So they just throw you in the Animus, like, oh, fuck it, throw him in the Animus.
What else do we do? How do we save him? Let's put him in the Animus.
Yeah. So the whole time is Desmond is just trying to basically regain consciousness the whole time in the Animus or whatever.
He's fighting to stay alive, kind of.
Yeah. So. But this was the first one that really kind of just took away the main, like, you really never had to play as Desmond more than, I think, 3 times. So it was pretty nice. You could just stay as Ezio the whole time. But yeah, so Ezio's back again in Revelations. But this time he's like, I think he's 52, I think, at the end of the game. So he's 50. And my first note is I love Old Man Ezio. I love him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
The take no shit, old man Ezio.
Well, he's just so relaxed and comfortable in who
happy.
He is, and just it's so awesome. I have an app like I have such a fondness now for Old Man Ezio that I did not have back when I originally played the game because I originally thought that this game sucked. Like I thought it had a good ending, but everything else was just boring as fuck and just whatever. I don't know what it is.
I'm still there.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, shut up.
I'm still at that point.
But
I mean, I haven't replayed it. I'll give you that. I'll replay
I
it.
honestly enjoyed Revelations more than Brotherhood when I replayed them recently. Like honestly a lot more. They're about the same length. I got through them. I got through both of them in about 2 days. Each, not both of them in 2 days, but separately I got through them in 2 days apiece. Revelations is a really good. It's really really good. You get a hook blade which allows you to climb things way faster. So this was the first like overhaul to climbing. And
okay, I did like that.
Yeah, it's really great.
I like the
really
different
awesome.
artillery and items and tools that you had in Revelation.
So there were like smoke bombs in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, but this one took it to another level. Yeah. Where like you like could craft bombs for a whole bunch of different stuff, which I never did one time because I was just trying to beat the game really fast. This most recent time. But yeah, so the point of this game is you go to Masyaf, which is the castle that Altair and that was the original home of the assassins.
Yeah, the Assassin's Creed headquarters.
Yes.
That you come back to in the first game all the time.
Yes. So this game, he goes there basically on a pilgrimage to finally uncover, try to finally end all and find out the answers to all the questions that his dad had been trying to answer his whole life. So he's just trying to end this lifelong 2-generation long story, at least 2 generations. They never talk about his dad's dad or anything like that ever. But he goes there. It's controlled by Templars at the moment. He fights a bunch of them and he finds out that there's like a vault there that requires 5 keys that he ends up deducing that was taken by Marco Polo's father. I think it's Niccolo Polo.
Yeah, Niccolo.
To Istanbul or Constantinople. It depends on what side you're on, what they call it. Even in the game, that they say that half of it, like the Asian side calls it one thing, and the European side calls it the other. But yeah, so he takes it. He took the keys there. So you spend the whole game trying to find the keys and basically reestablish the topple the Templar rule in Istanbul as well. So it's a really good game. It's not too long, but I thoroughly enjoyed Old Man Ezio. How did you, Chris? I know you said you liked Revelations a lot. What do you remember about the game that you liked?
I liked. Shit, I really don't. I don't remember. I just have a feeling of it. I don't really remember it super clearly because I haven't played it since it released.
I understand that.
I liked the glider thing that you get at the end.
Oh, you have a parachute the whole time.
I think you're thinking about Brotherhood. No, 2 when you get the glider.
No, you have a parachute that you can use through Revelations. Like you can jump off things and pull a parachute out.
Gotcha.
But if you guys can't speak to it, it's fine. I understand because
it's cool. I mean, if I remember something that you're talking about,
I've got some more. One of honestly the thing that I really, really, really loved the most about this game specifically was there was this is the game where Ezio finally falls in love with somebody.
Sophia.
Yes. So she is another Italian, a Venetian, which is someone from Venice.
I love her. That was the best part of this whole game.
Just play the game again, damn it! Stop shitting on it.
Sorry.
It's so good. I won't let
I'm being devil's advocate right now
because
I haven't replayed
my old man Ezio. So good.
I don't mind Old Man Ezio. The game was just boring, but Sophia did save it.
Okay.
Whatever.
I know. I'm sorry, but yeah. So yeah, but it's so funny because after each sequence, he writes a letter. He's writing a letter and he narrates it back to Claudia, who is his sister. And he's basically narrating and summarizing everything that had just happened in the sequence what is going to happen and his thoughts. And I really liked the loading screens between sequences like that. It was really, really nice. And then he starts writing to Claudia about Sophia, and it's just really, really awesome and funny. And he's also just so oblivious because she tries to get him to go on like to have a picnic with her near the end of the game. And she gets him, she's like, I'll tell you where the last, so she owns a bookstore that used to be Niccolo Polo's like trading post. So he goes there and meets her the second time because they were on the boat together, actually going to Istanbul. But he not quote unquote reunites with her, but meets her again there, and then like actually introduces himself this time, and they hit it off or whatever. But you could tell immediately that she finds him really charming and really cool and nice and stuff like that. So every time she helps him find the location to all the keys, the Masyaf keys.
Yeah, she's doing research and stuff for him.
So every time he comes to her and she gives him a new location and he goes and he finds it, blah, blah, blah. So before the last one, she's like, well, I'll give you the location of the last one, but I need you to go run some errands for me. And I need you to go grab some tulips from wherever and meet me in such and such. And he's like, okay, cool. Sweet. I guess I'll just go get you these flowers. I guess, whatever. So he goes
I'll
and he
do
picks
that.
them
That's
out.
easy.
He's like, oh, easy. I got you. Don't worry. I'll meet you there. And he's so oblivious the entire time. He picks these flowers. He gets there. He brings them to her. And he's like, all right, so you got that info? While she's got this giant spread of a lunch on like this on this cloth. And they're having like, she's obviously planned a whole picnic and food. He's like, man, that looks really good. You got that info for me? And she's like, sit. Why don't you sit down for a minute? And he's like, okay, all right, whatever. So he's sitting down and he's like getting all comfortable and shit. And she's like, even part like there's this one part at the very end where she's like leaning in to try to kiss him, and he's just like, and then he just looks away and he's like, oh, and I'm like, you idiot. But it's just so good. It's so well done. I love it. It's so good. And then the best part though about the game for me, even after you finish it, is when you finally get the Masyaf keys, you go there with Sophia, you unlock it, she waits outside, and throughout the entire game, each key is a memory from Altair. So you play as Altair for a little bit in each one of them. But the last key, he has in his hand. So you walk into the vault, and it's actually Altair's skeleton is just sitting in the chair with the final key, another key, the sixth key in his hand. Ezio grabs it, relives through that memory, and it's just him showing him where he hid the apple, which is basically in the wall or whatever. But at that, like, you relive, you see Altair basically tell everyone to leave because the Templars are coming for Masyaf. He's telling everyone to leave, and then he's going to stay there, and he's going to lock himself in the vault because he doesn't want anyone to ever find this, and he definitely doesn't want the Templars to get like their hands on it and all that stuff. But the part that was really, really great about it was that from the journey that Ezio had been on, especially at the end of Assassin's Creed 2, where he got no answers and stuff like that, he then takes that opportunity as he uncovers that Apple of Eden, he activates it, and then one of the ladies, the projection is telling him about like the end of the world that's coming, and and he resigns himself to be like, you know what, I'm done, and he's taking his assassin's blades and stuff off. And he goes and he's like, you know what? I have now come to realize over these years of Desmond, your name being basically burned into his psyche, that he will never understand the significance of what that name means, or who he is, or anything like that. But he knows, he's like, I don't understand how, but I know that you're here and you're watching this. Or and like you're witnessing this as well. And he's like, he basically just takes that and he's like, I'm done. I've lived throughout my entire story. He basically almost verbally passes the torch to Desmond.
Wow.
By just somehow not. It doesn't, obviously he doesn't know who Desmond is or anything like that, but because of all these years of thinking and just like he just gets to that point where he is older and wiser now, and he just resigns, like, you know what, this isn't for me to understand, and that's okay. I whatever needs to be done, Desmond, I hope that you succeed and can do it. And it's such a great moment that I just love. It was
maybe
it was
that's
so
what I like
perfect.
the most about it, like how it ends. Like it wraps it up nicely with a bow.
Yeah, it's so well done with the character growth from being that 16-year-old punk ass kid at the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2 to being an old man with a grayed out beard and just being like, I've played my role, and I'm happy with that, and I can live with it. And it was just so good.
I do think Ezio is still the best assassin, and maybe we feel that way because his story was so fleshed out compared to the other games that we got. We really saw his whole life. I mean, there was chunks of time in between that we missed, but we really followed him from beginning to end, and we don't get that a whole lot with the newer games.
Yeah, you don't get that with a single other assassin. You don't get more than one game with anyone else. He got 3, which well deserved.
Mm-hmm. And the only like running line is Altair. He seems to be, he kind of shows up in each one of them, but he was an asshole.
Yeah, he was.
Arrogant.
You kind of also see his character growth through those relived memories that Ezio gets to see. You get to see him right after the end of Assassin's Creed 1. You also get to see him basically get cast out of the Assassin Order because one of his buddies kills his son and his wife over jealousy and greed of power to be the head of the assassins and stuff like that. And you see him come back as an old ass, like 80-year-old man to like.
That's when he moves super slow, right?
Yes, it's super annoying. Yeah, he's just.
I remember that.
Like super fucking slow, walking all the way back up. Like he spent most of his life not even at Masyaf, like actually being with the assassins. But I thought it was very good. Revelations is super underrated to me. Very great game. Great. It's slightly behind 2 for me, honestly. I think that it was much more enjoyable. I found myself constantly just smiling because of Old Man Ezio the whole time I was playing the game. It was just very good. Super heartfelt ending and stuff like that. And it did his character justice. He finally got to sit down and take a breath at the end of the game and be like, after 50 or 40 some years of being on this journey. And it was well deserved, and it was great.
He gets his happy ending, and that's nice.
Yes. And even in the Ezio collection, there's actually a short animated movie of the end of Ezio's life, so you can actually see that in the Ezio collection, which is nice. If you're wondering how he dies, he actually he has a heart attack in the square in Florence, where his family was killed.
Oh wow!
He was just sitting on a bench.
Where he was supposed to die.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So also very good. It
gave me
really
goosebumps.
Good. Yeah. It brought a tear to my eye when I watched it. If I remember, because I just care about that character so much.
But like I was saying earlier, he's like the only one that you get to see besides Altair, from beginning to end. And I think that's why those 3 games especially hold a special place in all of our hearts because of that.
Yeah, I think for sure that this was the pinnacle. These 3, the pinnacle of Assassin's Creed. It's on the rise again, but I think because of that yearly release cycle and stuff like that, it started kind of like dipping, and a lot of people lost interest. But go ahead, Chris.
I think Ubisoft doesn't think that we as fans have the attention span we did, and that's why they don't give it to us.
100% agree.
Think that they're not willing to flush out a character and pay writers and like get a good script going before they make a game, or they just don't think that we have the attention span to commit to one. Like the timeline jumps around so much after this that it's hard. Yes. It's hard to like understand the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that, especially after Assassin's Creed 3. which is what we're going to move on to now. I forgot to state that Assassin's Creed Revelations did come out in 2011, which I've already said they were basically yearly release cycles, so whatever. Mm-hmm. So the next following year, we got Assassin's Creed 2.
3.
Assassin's Creed 3. I don't know why I said 2. Sorry. Assassin's Creed 3. I have a long list of notes for this game.
I have a lot of opinions about this game too.
Yeah. Cheyenne, you have played this game, correct?
I have, yes.
Okay.
I was really hyped for this game, honestly, because I thought it was cool what the setting that it was going to be in. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going away from Italy, we're going away from like the Middle East, and we're coming to America.
I remember you playing this when we were dating, and thinking I thought it was a really cool looking game. Like, obviously, it's been a long time, and just kind of, I remember you going through like the towns in Boston and stuff and thinking how neat it was, like how cool it looked, kind of the colonial, feel. I feel like being in Virginia, we get so much history lessons from like this colonial era. So it was kind of interesting to see, obviously with Colonial Williamsburg and stuff, we see that in real life, reenactments, but not everybody gets to see that. And so kind of going up and down, with
it's like that feeling that you get when you are represented in a game or a TV show. It's like every time you've ever seen a TV show or something that even says like the town that you live in, that you never get to, if you don't live in like New York City or LA or fucking Chicago or Miami, you don't get that feeling because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But if you live in smaller, more rural towns or cities, it's just a really like, oh yeah, thousands and millions of other people now know that this place exists. And it's just like, it's a weird thing, but that's also why, and I don't want to get on a tangent like this, but this is why it's just a small taste of why representation is important in games and movies and stuff for everyone, because it's just you can grab onto it and be like, oh, that's so cool, yes.
Kind of like I did with Italy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes, 100%. Which is why there needs to be more representation in TV and movies and games and stuff like that, that everyone can have those moments.
Yeah.
But yeah,
heritage,
form a deeper connection to it.
Environment. Yeah. What'd you say, Chris?
Go ahead, Chris.
I said you form a deeper connection to it when you do have representation like that. That's what 100%. Makes it special.
Yes.
To you.
Yeah. I 100% agree. But I think this game, I don't think I've ever let myself be as hype for this game as I have for any other game, especially since I bought into all the marketing. I watched every trailer like 100 times.
Carved our pumpkin in Assassin's
Creed.
I remember that
Halloween
actually.
that year.
Yeah, Halloween that year I did. I carved the assassin emblem into our fucking shitty pumpkin.
He was fucking excited, guys.
Yeah, I was excited. I was right along with you on that. I mean, I was there. We all three of us were hyped together. Yeah, because
you were still in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because this just came out the fall after we graduated high school.
Yep. I just remember all of us being hyped together about this game.
I bought the collector's edition of this game that came with the Colonial Assassin flag, which I still have.
I forgot about
this Colonial Assassin American flag. I still have it.
I didn't buy that one, but I bought the Steelbook collection.
So I still have the Steelbook. It's over there. It's over there somewhere. I know. 100% it's over there. I have the Steelbook, which is what you got for pre-ordering at GameStop. And I also had the Connor statue, which I actually sold that
I forgot about
a couple years ago on eBay, because we'll get into why, because the game was not good.
No, it wasn't.
It was a No Man's Sky.
It was such a ridiculous disappointment to me.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. But this game had so many problems, and I want to try to explain why I think it had so many problems before we get into shitting on it. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So I want to play devil's advocate for the game, and I want to try to explain why I think it failed, because this is a lot of people's shittiest Assassin's Creed game. Like, I would say it's probably gameplay wise and stuff like that, it's better than the first one. But I think because of the enormous disappointment that it was, I just hold it at the very bottom of my list.
The only reason, well, I haven't replayed Unity since they fixed it, but Unity's right there for me.
Because I'm replaying Unity right now, and it is significantly better than it was.
So maybe now this one has bumped down, but for a while it was Unity because of how bad it was. But go ahead.
Yeah, which again, I'll also get into why I think Unity had so many problems. So Assassin's Creed 3. The reason why I think this game struggled was because this was the first game where they overhauled everything. They really had to up they upped the graphics, they upped the physics engine, they remapped all of the character animations because you had a new character in Connor.
And a new environment.
Exactly. That couldn't be as vertical as old Renaissance,
like Gothic
Italy.
Style, cathedral style. Yeah. We didn't have all that in
you had like America. Brick homes and wooden
trees, mostly trees.
Trees and stuff.
Climbing a lot of trees.
There was a lot of trees.
This was the first one that added like a wilderness area where you could hunt and stuff like that. This was the first one that added hunting and skinning animals and using that to upgrade and shit. I think with this game,
pretty cool.
Didn't it have like a pseudo stealth element?
Yes.
Yeah.
You could crouch in bushes and stuff.
Only.
Whoa, mind blowing! I know, but you couldn't crouch in any Assassin's Creed game before this one.
Before that, yeah.
And you still couldn't manually crouch until Assassin's Creed Unity.
You had to be in a bush to crouch in 3.
But yeah, anyway, so you'd think in a stealth game that would be something they would.
You're an assassin, but you can't crouch.
You just stand straight up like.
Yeah.
I know.
Guess I gotta find somewhere to hide.
Yeah.
Then there'd be like gaps in bushes. You'd be like.
Yeah, you literally walk through a bush, crouch, and then you stand up for 1 second, and then you'd crouch again. Yeah. So that's the video gamey stuff coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this game suffered because it was the first big leap they tried to take on the same generation of consoles. They really, this game needed another year of development. It's not replaying it again. Even the remaster. I played Assassin's Creed 3 remastered like last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. Man, this game has so many problems. Still, even in the remaster. And it shows because I really think that they just could not get it all finished.
They bit off more than
they could chew. But I think it comes back to Ubisoft and demanding that year, that 1 year off. That 1 year development cycle. Yeah, I agree.
I think that. I know that everybody's waiting for Cyberpunk, and I'm using that as a right now 2020 example, but I think it'll be better for it.
Yes,
like if they had done that with the Assassin's Creed game and not forced them to do the 1 year cycle, they would have been better.
Exactly.
Truly.
A delayed game can always end up being good, but a broken game will always be bad.
Yeah, and it'll be on
look how you think about Unity right now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That game came out
it's
broken.
always been bad in my mind because I never went back.
And first impressions matter
a
lot,
especially in
gaming.
Games. Especially games. Because they're so long, you don't want to waste your time. You're just like, well, this game sucks. I'm done.
Like after this game and then the subsequent ones, which I'm not going to go too much into depth about their issues, but Ubisoft really has declined in quality in my eyes. And other franchises too, like especially Far Cry is a great example in my opinion. But sharp decline.
So I'm gonna get into some stuff here. I know you guys haven't played it anytime recently. You guys can tack on anything. First and foremost, the thing that really is just jarring to me is the writing. The writing's bad. The lines are bad. They're so cheesy and overacted, and they're just the conversations are not authentic feeling. They're just not good. I didn't write down any specific examples because you could just play the game. It's just littered with bad writing the entire time.
Yeah, like the first mission, you go up into that house to join that meeting or whatever, or eavesdrop on that meeting, and it's just like, what should we do? Let's give all of the information exactly as it is. Okay.
I'm gonna get into the gameplay in a minute because it's also really not good. like the mechanics are not good in this game. The combat is good. They revamped the combat and everything in this game. Again, which I think is leading to why another reason why it wasn't finished. They just had way too much shit to do in the same amount of time that they developed other games using the same buildings, copy and paste from previous games and everything. You still have the same character models, no new animations, anything like that. Go ahead, Chris.
I do have one thing to say. In my opinion, Connor was a shit follow-up to Ezio.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a character.
I'm getting there. Don't worry. I have that much shit in notes to talk about.
All right, I'll stop interrupting you.
Yeah, we're getting there. So in this game, you play as a mixed Native American assassin named Connor. His father you actually play as the first couple sequences of the game, which there is a twist there that Haytham Kenway. You play as him the first two or three sequences of the game, and then there's a twist that he's actually the Templar Grand Master, turned like assassin turned Templar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dun,
So that's kind of crazy. There's a scene, I mean, obviously you knew you were going to play as Connor because he was the poster boy for the game.
Mm-hmm.
His name is a he has a Native American name, but he's given an English name.
Really long. I'm looking at it right now, and
it's hard for me to pronounce, and I don't want to butcher it any more than I know I will. But yeah. So the relationship between them, Connor and Haytham, it's just non-existent, and there are literally cutscenes where Connor's being trained, and I don't even know if he has even been told that his father exists from his mother or anything like that. There's nothing declaring that they know that they exist. There's nothing. And then you go to Achilles, who is the assassin, the older assassin that trains you. You find him, go to his house. He goes down to the basement. And there's a picture of a bunch of Templar leaders, and he's just like, he just looks over at, or he's like, I guess I'll have to kill my father. And I'm like,
what?
Because it's just he's all the way at the top of the Grand Master, and I'm like, okay, I guess he does know he exists and obviously knows what he looks like. What?
Again, the writing.
The writing there. There's nothing to say anything about that they know each other at all whatsoever. Then later in the game, Connor goes into a church, and Haytham drops down on him, and he's like, son? And Connor's like, father. And then they just have a weird relationship where they've clearly never met ever. And yet he knows him. He knows who he is. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't make any sense at all. Haytham is obviously using Connor to, they have a common goal that they try to achieve. He's obviously lying his ass off to him about shit.
Yep. He's a Templar.
Stuff like that. Yeah. But it just doesn't make any sense at all. It's really poorly written. It could have been obviously much better, obviously. But
the game is also buggy as fuck.
Yep.
I don't remember getting that many bugs when I played it recently, but that was the remastered version. And then another thing about Connor as a character, he's also not well written at all. It fast forwards through so much stuff during his story. It's almost like they were like, wow, this game's really long, or we don't have time to fill in the details. So literally he goes on monologues about what's happened.
Yep.
Because they don't fill in the blanks. You don't get to see it. So you just are told what to think and what to feel from Connor's 2-second monologue in a loading screen before a sequence starts. Which is not good storytelling.
No.
Because you're going to forget that in 2 seconds.
Yeah, there's so much more memorable if you play through it or make the decisions.
Exactly.
Or show it at least.
Yeah. Yes. And then the other thing is he's written like an asshole.
Yes, he's unlikable.
He's constantly yelling at people. He's always begrudgingly doing things like, ugh, all right, fine, god damn it, ugh. you know, and he just acts like he's constantly inconvenienced and doesn't want to be there.
And there's not really any character like development.
No, he's like that the entire game. He's like that the entire game.
He can be an asshole at the beginning, but hopefully there's some growth there, and maybe he changes, and maybe he becomes likable.
Yep.
No.
And there's a lot of people that he ends up having to kill that he definitely didn't need to kill.
Yep.
So like, there's a point where he kills his best friend, his best Native American friend, like from his tribe, just simply because that guy has been manipulated into believing that Connor's bad. And he just goes and fights him, and then it's just like bad storytelling where he's just like, no, it's not true. And the other guy's like, no, fuck you. Yeah, I'm gonna fight you immediately as soon as I see you. I would never want to speak to you. Like, even though they've had a relationship for 20 odd years of knowing each other. And he's literally just gonna take someone else's word about what Connor's been doing and then just be like, I'm gonna kill you. For no reason. Like, they literally won't listen to Connor at all whatsoever. And then Connor's just apparently just forced to kill him. He's literally just like, the dude's like that old, that thing where the guy's laying on top of him with a knife and he's slowly pushing it or whatever. And then Connor's like, I guess fuck you. And then just fucking stabs him in the throat with his hidden blade. And he's just like, all right, kill you then. Which I don't understand why that's always a thing where you can just roll the dude over. Which is always like the thing when, the protagonist is the one on the ground and he can roll the guy over the last second, whatever. But it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. I've got some more notes here. Yeah. I wrote this game needed more time to be good. Too many things added in too short of a time. Also, Connor is not developed at all. His quote unquote development is just told to you. You never see or witness it. And then my last comment was combat and free running is good though, but the gameplay is not enough to really save the game at all.
Yeah.
Like, what does Connor lose? What does he gain? Like, why is he doing these things?
To save his people. But they don't get saved at the end anyway.
Yeah, why are we invested in
nothing he does has to do with his people, really?
No,
consequences, so it's not a high stakes game. So
yeah,
don't get invested.
Yeah, he's not losing anything. He's not going after revenge. You don't feel for him.
Well, he tries to kill. So a guy with the second in command Templar guy, Charles Lee, is like his big, like, fuck you to that guy, right? So Charles Lee burned down his village when he was a kid, and his mother died in the fire.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
So that's why, and then, that's his big motivating factor against Charles Lee.
That's one man.
Yeah. You do end up killing him at the end. It's really kind of it's kind of weird.
Was it the burning down church thing at the end? That
so
remember
you're running
like 50 times.
Yeah, I did. When I was doing that, I was like, man, I remember watching Chris do this 100 times before he did it. So you're chasing Charles Lee through a burning ship that's being built, that's sitting on a dock. You chase him. You're literally chasing him for like a fucking hour in the game. You chase him there. You like chase him from New York to Boston. You chase him in Boston around the fucking ship. You chase him a bunch of times, and then you fucking get impaled by something, and you shoot him, and then you wake up and you fucking somehow walk after being impaled all the way to Lexington from Boston, and he's just sitting at a bar. He's just sitting at a table taking shots because he's bleeding out, and you walk in and you sit down next to him. And you take a sip, and then you grab your knife, and then you just fucking stab him.
Terrible writing.
Jake wants me to talk about the ship mechanics in the game, but they're fine. I liked them. I thought they were great. I like Assassin's Creed 4, which we'll get into in a minute, which is all about being a pirate and stuff like that,
Black Flag,
and sailing and stuff like that, which I enjoyed a lot. I liked Assassin's Creed 3. But you don't at all for a second have to do it, except for at the Battle of Yorktown and the Battle of Chesapeake Bay. That's it.
I like that they introduced it,
yes.
And it wasn't like Black Flag, it was a main point. But this one, it was kind of like, okay, we're going to introduce some ship mechanics for you to try.
Yeah. But yeah, you only have to do the ship when you first get introduced to the ship and the very second to last mission at the Battle of Yorktown, to the end of the Revolutionary War. But I guess we'll talk about the story real quick. I'll go over the story. So you are Desmond, and throughout the last couple games, you've been told that the world is gonna have some kind of crisis on December 21st, 2012. You know, can you remember when the world was supposed to end in 2012?
Yeah. I was at Disney World on that day.
Yeah. So
and I woke up and it was fine.
Living it up, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is the last day on Earth. So
I was like, okay, well, if I die, at least it's at Disney. But
yeah.
Nope,
so you are trying to recover some a key to basically press something that will somehow protect the Earth, even though the civilization that came before it failed. Which I never understood in that how like you go to a place that they built to then save the world, but yet they
using
failed.
a mechanism they made.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense to me at all. But long story short, at the end of the game, you get the key. It was buried with Achilles' son because that's where Connor hid it after he took it from Hatham. Hatham had the key the whole time, but Hatham needed the Apple of Eden to open the door to get in, and he didn't have it. And the Apple of Eden was in Europe, so he was like, and he knew that, and he was like, fuck. It's somewhere in Europe, oh well, fuck it. Which is what you learn at the end of playing as Hatham. But, you do some assassin stuff as Desmond, which is fine, I guess. I still don't like playing as Desmond at all.
I don't really mind.
Basically, long story short, at the end of the game, Juno, which is one of the people who came before, one of the precursor civilization, one of their entity, like one of them, she basically tells you, put your hand, like activate this thing. You'll die, but it'll save the world. But it'll also, I will be freed from this prison or something. It still doesn't really make sense to me how she then became like a thing again, wasn't dead.
Like how she wasn't just a projection.
Yeah. Even though she still ended up looking like a projection when she was like unleashed. I don't know. It's This is basically when the current day storyline just gets super convoluted and they never pick it up ever again after this game. Really?
Yep. Never talk about it again.
Yeah, it's but yet they still, in all the games, there's someone in the game that you're rooted to in modern day, and it's super annoying and stupid. But yeah, so Desmond dies at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, because he, saves the world somehow. And then yay, the day is saved. And then we go, I guess you guys want to just go ahead and go to Assassin's Creed 4 now?
Yep. Sure.
All right, so we're about 2 hours, 15 minutes. We're going to start trying to like rip through some of these here. We probably won't have as much to say about these.
Nah.
So Assassin's Creed 4, you play as Hatham Kenway's father, Edward, who is at the beginning of the game, he's a pirate, but you find out that he was an English privateer. He left his wife to go and privateer because he was tired of being poor as fuck. And he wanted to provide for them, but he was also a drunk and really kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm. Lots of trees in this game, too.
This game, lots of trees, This game, infinitely better than Assassin's Creed 3.
Definitely.
Yes, if you don't like the ship mechanics, you're not going to like this game. Sorry. If you don't like sailing, you won't like it.
Because that's the whole game.
Yeah, that's the whole game.
I did pre-order this one from GameStop, and I got the really cool like art poster. It was on my door for a long time, but then it fell, and I never put it back up because I'm lazy. But I was hyped for this one too.
Are you cross-stitching right now, Cheyenne?
She's been cross-stitching for a long time.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm sorry. I'm paying attention. I just have to have something to do with my hands.
Okay. Chris does not like this game.
I have been cross-stitching for like an hour, and you just noticed.
So Chris. No, I noticed it a while ago. Chris, please expand as to why you're not really a huge fan of this game.
I just got bored with like the sailing mechanic. Like, it felt to me monotonous. And there's always like fucking asshole ships around that are like,
just like in Far Cry.
Fuck you.
Every 2 seconds.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just trying to get to this fucking island. I'm just trying to do this one thing. Like, god damn it, leave me alone.
They're like, no, fight me to the death.
And I totally understand that because I was trying to beat this game as fast as possible, and it took me about 25 hours. and I literally didn't do a single side mission. I mean, it took me a week to beat this game, playing it almost every day, because I was just trying to finish as many of them as possible before we did this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I've played all of them. The only one at this point I haven't beaten is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which we will probably spend the least amount of time talking about, unfortunately, because I don't think Chris has even played that one, and I know Sarah hasn't played it.
I didn't play very much of it.
So I've got some notes here. Basically, the basis on the game, though, you are a pirate at first. You get stranded on an island with an assassin. You end up killing him because he won't work together with you. And you take all his shit, and you read a note that has him being summoned to Havana, Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
So you go and impersonate him, find out that he was defecting from the assassins and becoming a Templar. You pose as him for a little bit at the beginning of the game. They find out you're not him.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. And then you kind of see this as a giant opportunity to find the quote-unquote observatory, which is what the Templars are planning on trying to find, which can you can use it to basically spy on anyone that you get a blood sample from. You can spy on them and see what they're doing. So he sees that as an opportunity to find it and basically sell it to the highest bidder and become rich because he's a pirate. You work with Blackbeard and a bunch of other kind of famous pirates throughout the game.
Again, the history of this is great.
The history of this is great.
The history that they do put in is great.
Oh, with the pirates?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. You distracted. I was like, okay.
I don't know what you were going with.
To me, this one hasn't had as much. This one didn't have as much like enriching history as the others.
No, not as good as the other ones. But I'm glad they still kept in historical
So yeah, you work with Blackbeard and some other pirates. But yeah, so you go through the game. There is a person called they call him a sage, and he is someone who's basically his consciousness is passed from death to his next. To like someone else in his like another generation. So like his consciousness gets passed every couple generations to someone in his bloodline or just someone. I don't remember if it's someone in his bloodline or just another person on Earth. And it like his consciousness, he basically continuously gets reborn. And throughout this one, you're playing as just a random Abstergo Entertainment employee. This is when it gets really convoluted and stupid. So your present day character works at Abstergo, but another part of Abstergo called Abstergo Entertainment. And Abstergo Entertainment has made the Assassin's Creed games.
Yep.
Which is really fucking weird.
Meta.
That it's just like super meta, yeah. But it makes no sense because Abstergo Industries is run by Templars. Why they would make video games centering around assassins
and how cool they are
and how good and awesome they are, right? It makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah,
from what I understood when I played it, what little I played of it before I lost interest, I thought it was trying to say that it made the Assassin's Creed games that we were playing and enjoying, like Abstergo Pharmaceuticals.
We're part of the Templars by design.
Yeah. But the way they spin it in that is that they recovered Desmond's body at the end of Abstergo did the Templars.
Yeah, which I think is I was gonna talk about that because I think it's really weird that they use his corpse.
Well, they just take his DNA and then they use it so that you can also you can live through his memories also. So they just blow the whole technology thing out of the water with the Animus. They're just like, who fucking cares? Anybody could do it now. Doesn't matter. Yeah, as long as you have the DNA sample, it's fine. Who fucking cares? Yeah, so basically, Abstergo Entertainment is using Desmond's DNA to basically make movies and video games off of like Connor and fucking Edward Kenway and all this shit. And like during the game, you are supposed to be watching Edward Kenway's memories to make a pirate movie out of it. That's what your character is doing. The IT guy, though, keeps getting you to hack into the system and shit to do weird shit and message the obvious assassins because it's Sean and Rebecca. You keep handing them shit down in the lobby. And I'm like, really? Okay. We're still trying to do this. Okay. With the same characters. Sorry, head hurts a little bit, but yeah. So it's really kind of gets so convoluted and so dumb. Like every single time, I'm just like, I don't care. I just want to be a pirate. Stop making me go to the real world. I just don't care anymore. Just stop. Just stop. So yeah. Anyway, so the sage is a character in the game that knows the location of the observatory.
And is the only person that can take you there.
Yeah, he's the only person that knows where it is because his consciousness is that of someone from the civilization that came before.
The first civilization.
Yeah, so he is actually Juno's husband or / lover from that time when they were still alive. That's who his consciousness is. So,
and that's the consciousness that keeps getting passed down.
Yeah, his consciousness keeps getting passed down, but Juno is the one that had Desmond free her to save the human race or to save the Earth or whatever.
Right.
So, at the end of the game, the IT guy is the current day sage. He's getting you to hack all the shit and message the assassins for some reason, but he's trying to use your body as a vessel for Juno to come back.
Oh wow.
It doesn't work for some reason. She just doesn't choose your body or whatever. And he's like, "This is bullshit, god damn it!" And that's when you find out that because he's just talking to you over a radio the whole time, the whole game until the reveal after you beat the game, and then some security officers come in and they fucking shoot his ass. So again, that game was pointless. It made no sense. Like it didn't really evolve the current day story or anything like that whatsoever. But yeah, Edward finds the observatory. He actually does decide to become an assassin after he sees what it can do, and after the sage guy betrays him.
Yep.
He kills the sage guy. He finds the observatory and locks it up and gives it to the assassins and all that shit. And you get at the end, he gets a letter at the very end of the game that his wife had passed away years ago, shortly after he left, or shortly after he stopped writing to them, because the game had taken place over about 6 years, and he had already been gone for about 2 years from England. So his wife had passed away, and he had actually gotten her pregnant right before she left. So at the very end, there's a ship that shows up at where their hangout is now, and his daughter gets off the ship, and he is totally grown up at this point, and he's now dedicated to becoming an actual father, goes back to England, all that shit. But here's my notes so far about the actual game. So that was the story. Edward is definitely a much better and deeper character than Connor and Haytham in Assassin's Creed 3. He is very likable. He is, that stereotypical gung-ho pirate that just doesn't give a fuck. But he's funny and he's witty. But he has a good sense of morals still. He's likable right out of the gate. He has a lot of good character growth, and my only negative from the game is that the ship combat can get a little old and repetitive.
Yeah. I think that's.
But I'd like you guys to talk now for a few minutes. My voice is getting kind of tired. I won't lie.
I thought that the ocean was beautiful in the game. Like when you're in a storm and it's just like, and you gotta. But I don't know. Then again, the fortresses that were like constantly firing on you from the shore kind of gets annoying. And then rogue wave all the fucking time. Kind of.
Yeah, it's one of those Assassin's Creed lines that gets burned into your skull that you hear 100,000 times. Whether it's the guards or someone, there's always one line in every game that gets repeated 100 times.
And it's just like that rogue wave seems like it has it out for you, but not for like your opposition.
The enemy ships, yeah.
Yeah, they can hit it broadside and just be fucking fine. It hits you broadside, you're done.
Yep. Another video game trope that annoys me.
Yeah.
It just kind of breaks the, things like
breaks
that.
The immersion.
It breaks the immersion for me when something fucks you, but it doesn't fuck the other people, and you're like, or the computer, and you're just like, okay, all right, whatever.
Especially if it's a natural thing.
Yes, that should have no sides to take. Yeah.
Oh, but it does. That wave hates you.
And then, like, when you're in those tight corners in your ship and you have to navigate, like, between islands or something, there's always a breeze that pushes you into the fucking wall.
Yep. Yes. Oh.
They're like, strong wind, and there's nothing you can fucking do.
Yep, comes out of nowhere, and if you're at full sail, you're dead. Or, well, not you're dead, but you're hitting it. You're hitting the island. It doesn't matter. Cheyenne, any strong feelings about Assassin's Creed 4?
No strong feelings. I was hyped about it, but I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Kind of like 3. The writing was a little bit better, like you said. The story characters, I think, were better than 3 for sure. My only gripe was the ship mechanics, but I'm not really sure why I got bored with this one. I just remember putting it down. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the other ones.
I don't think you never finished this one, did you?
Nope.
Because this one is long. It's really long.
I'm not a big fan of ship things. You know that anyway.
Yeah, you don't like being on boats.
I don't, and like I don't really like Sea of Thieves, and I don't.
Oh,
really
you don't like Sea of Thieves now? You used to like it.
I mean, I was okay, but I don't know if you've noticed, but every time you're like, "Hey,"
yeah, I've noticed. You just never voiced that opinion when it came out. You were like, "Yeah," I guess you were just like, "I guess I'll play it."
I was hyped for it when it came out. I thought it looked really cool, and then I started playing it, and I was like, "I hate this." Actually,
wow,
didn't expect
she just
that.
hid it. Yeah, she just hid it from me the entire time.
I did. I really tried to enjoy Sea of Thieves. Not that this is a Sea of Thieves podcast, but I really tried.
It's okay. It's fine.
Really tried to enjoy it, and it looks really good. I'm not saying it's not a great game. I just hate it.
Okay, I'm not saying it's not a good game, but I just hate it.
I just hate it. It's phobia reasons for me. I think it's not the game itself. It is too realistic.
Too realistic. Yeah, that Kraken, man.
You're first. No, I'm talking about the ship. I don't care about the Kraken. Yeah. You're first person in the ship. You get sick. You go underwater, and it's like, oh God, where am I? Which way is up? And then you get almost the achievement, the 20 chest achievement, and the Kraken just sinks you, and it makes you mad, and you never.
Yeah, it's really realistic in that way.
Yeah.
All right. I guess, Chris, I know, Sarah, you haven't seen the game really at all, so you don't have anything to say.
I watched you play it, though.
That's one of the only ones that I think I haven't seen anything. Sorry, I forget that I'm really far away. That's one of the only ones that I don't think I've seen anything from. All of the other ones, I've seen at least parts of it.
Yeah, you would not find this game fun. You would not enjoy the ship mechanics at all.
No.
There is a lot in this game, eavesdropping and stuff. And that was the part I started getting really tired of it. Real tired of eavesdropping. Mm-hmm. Like, it was really annoying.
I found the politics in it a little bit unrealistic for the time, too. Like, how do I put it? Like, don't get me wrong. I'll say, like, I'm not pro-slavery. I'm definitely not. But I don't feel like everybody around you would just be like shitting on it if it's something that's common and accepted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm pro that. I'm just saying that I found it a little. Yeah. If it's taken place.
But I did appreciate that. At least the main character, Edward, was like.
Yeah.
Like.
But everyone you interact with is shitting on it too.
I agree. I know. There are some slavers in the game that you go and you kill and stuff like that, and I totally get that, but they definitely did kind of ignore that for the most part. There was some authenticity, like your first mate is an African man, a black guy. I don't think he's actually African. I can't remember. I don't remember where he says he was born. I think he was born in the Caribbean somewhere, but he was a slave.
And obviously he would be anti.
Yeah. So, but he even makes a comment about, like, he's like, he calls, I think he calls Edward captain or something. It's like, he's like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, I guess, and he's like, he says, he basically, Adewale is his name. He has a comment about, like, he's like, I don't really think, Edward says it. Edward is the one that says, like, I'll be the captain. And Adewale is like, oh, well, okay, I guess. And Edward's like, well, I don't, not trying to be. He literally is like, I'm not trying to say anything, but I don't think this group of men would accept you as captain. But it's said in a way that it's not meant to seem like he's being racist, But it's meant to be like to remind, I think, the viewers of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they still were like, we're gonna make this guy a really good character because he's a focal point. He's one of the main characters in the game, and he's actually more of a moral. He's like a moral compass for Edward the entire game. He's like the good angel on his shoulder, where he's got all the pirates as the bad angel on his other shoulder. So, and I think that's really cool of them to acknowledge the time and acknowledge, the slavery aspect of that, especially that location, the Caribbean, where you had a lot of slave trading happening during that time. Man, my voice just totally cracked out right there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big parts of history that people don't really realize or think about is the whole African diaspora slave trade that happened in, the Caribbean. I think that's a big part that gets overlooked. You kind of, at least in America, you focus so much on the like Africa to, like the Middle Passage, Africa to America, but majority of, the slaves of the time went through the Caribbean and, kind of all the sugar plantations. It's not something that you really get taught a lot in like American history books, but it's, it's a huge, huge part of that whole history and, kind of the more interesting things that you get out of that and the cultural importance. So just fun history facts.
But yeah, and he's also there to check Edward, and be like multiple times when he's like, they're talking about going or like ignoring slavers and stuff like that, and Adewale's like, oh no, we're gonna kill them, right? I mean, like, you're free that, and he's like, Adewale's like, don't sink the ship. There are innocent men on that ship, because there are slaves on it that are being transported. So I like that aspect. It's a good reminder, but it's also a good way of making a good character out of the time period, especially of that ethnicity at that time. I think it's a good way to do it. But I guess we'll go ahead, move on to Assassin's Creed Rogue, right?
Yep.
I think I'm the only person that's played this game.
I was about to say, I own it, but I have never played it.
I am so glad I don't have that problem.
There's a lot of games in Cheyenne's library that she hasn't played.
Yeah. Sarah can say a lot of things about how many games that I buy, but at least I fucking play them.
Yeah.
I don't buy them and then just have them sitting on my shelf or my digital shelf.
I'm guilty of it too. Of buying shit and not playing it.
I like
Stop it. Enough.
Hang on. Continue talking about Rogue. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over the synopsis of Rogue real quick. Again, you play as some character at Abstergo Entertainment, and I hated the modern day story. I beat this game today. I hated the modern day story. I don't even want to talk about it. It's dumb. It's really stupid. But the actual game is not bad. It's a shorter game, but it came out. It came out the same day or year, or I don't know. It was the same day as Assassin's Creed Unity, which is the next game we'll talk about. But it was the last gen, like it was the 360 PS3 Assassin's Creed that came out that fall, whereas Unity came out for the next gen systems. So the naval combat is the same as Assassin's Creed 4, which is still fine with me. The main character is an assassin turned Templar who basically topples the entire assassin order right up to the start of Assassin's Creed 3. Haytham Kenway is in it. I mean, the game's really good. It's not really like groundbreaking or anything, just because they just basically recycled a lot of everything from Assassin's Creed 4. But it's a really solid game. The story is pretty good in the actual game. You feel for the assassin guy that you play as, and you understand why he turned to the Templar Order, because the assassins were trying to claim these artifacts that were actually not what they thought they're supposed to be. So they get a map that they think is a map of Pieces of Eden, and they get your character Shay. His name is Shay Cormac. They get him to go after one, it's actually something that's holding the planet together. So he pulls it out in Portugal. I can't remember the city now. God damn it. But apparently there was a horrible earthquake that actually happened there in real life in the year 1755 or 56, I can't remember, but basically in the game they're saying that it happened because he pulled this thing that was kind of almost like it was almost like a linchpin in the earth that was like holding it together, and he pulled it out, and it just caused a huge massive earthquake that destroyed the entire city. And he goes back and he tries to tell Achilles, who is then the leader of the assassins, like, no, you cannot, because it also happened at another location that one of the other assassins went to. And he's telling him, like, you can't do this because this is not what you think it is. And he's trying to explain it to him. And Achilles isn't listening to him because he's basically like, he's just like this kind of like almost like this loser, kind of like up and coming assassin that everybody basically makes fun of and shits on and bullies. So he was sent on that mission to like, as like a, you've been doing really good lately. Let's put a little more on your plate. But he comes back and Achilles isn't listening to him, so he steals the map, and they almost kill him because he doesn't want to let them destroy the world, because they just don't understand what it is, because Achilles didn't see it or anything like that. Then you get saved by a Templar. You are basically brought into the order. You kill all your assassin friends at a certain point in the game. That even though he does struggle with it pretty greatly during the game, he's not taking pleasure in killing them. The very last mission, you stop Achilles. Well, you don't stop them, actually. You get to Achilles and like your best buddy, who is like someone you've grown up with because he's also Irish. You stop them from pulling it out, and then you get there and you guys start tussling, and then someone gets knocked into it and it falls out, and an earthquake starts happening. It's like in the Arctic Circle up north. There's a big fight, and Hatham beats the shit out of Achilles, but then Shay stops him from killing him because he's like, look, if we kill him, the other assassins don't know, like, he's now seen what it is, because then Achilles is like, oh shit, Shay was right, fuck, but they fight anyway or whatever. But they don't kill Achilles. He convinces Hatham to leave him because he thinks that if he kills Achilles, that it will cause the rest of the assassins to continue trying to find these things. So he then shoots Achilles in the knee, which is the reason why he limps in Assassin's Creed 3, because he gets shot in the knee. Basically blows his whole knee out. And back then, if you get shot in the knee, you're fucked forever. There's nothing that they can do anything. It just shatters your knee and you're fucked. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Rogue, definitely worth playing. I would definitely say play it. It's really good. It's pretty short. If you do no side missions, you can beat it in about 10 hours. But yeah, so I guess we'll move on. Oh, the ending of that game. It ends with Shay Cormac going to Versailles in 1776 during the American Revolution. And you go to the palace in Versailles, and you go to reclaim the box that shows you the location of all those linchpins, basically, to go reclaim it. And you kill a guy who happens to be Arno's father, the main assassin character in Assassin's Creed Unity, who you see at the very beginning. You're Arno as a child, and you find your father dead, or like you walk up on him, he's been killed while meeting with someone, and it was Shay Cormac who killed him. So it literally, like, playing them right back to back after watching that ending and then starting Assassin's Creed Unity, I was like, wow, that was actually really well done. So there's that. So I guess we can go ahead and move on to Assassin's Creed Unity now, since I'm sure since you guys, I know, have nothing to say about Rogue since you haven't played it. But who wants to start on this? I'm gonna pee. My voice hurts.
I mean, I guess I'll start.
You guys can start talking about the glitches and stuff. I don't want to go through the story of the rest of these. Like, I will summarize the story in Assassin's Creed Unity, but anyone that is listening, just know that the modern day story at this point is so convoluted, it makes no sense.
When I played some of the later ones, I don't even remember what the girl's name is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't either.
I don't think I'm sure they said it, but I have no memory of what the lady's name is.
She's so forgettable. And yeah. So you guys go. We've only got a couple more to talk about. So we're going to try to get through these last couple pretty quickly and hopefully end this one at right around the 3-hour mark. So I'm going to be...
You're going to be pushing,
Yeah,
but
go
okay.
for it. Go for it. Talk
Yeah.
about Unity and the glitches and stuff and why it was not good at the time.
So I wasn't as hyped for this one because I was disappointed in the last two. But I did buy it because Assassin's Creed is still one of my favorite series. I don't know. I just got into this game. I thought, okay, it's got to be better than 3. It's got to be a little bit better than 4. So I went into it, and it's just like I have video of it still. When the Xbox One came out, you could like screen capture like clips. And I did of me glitching through the walls all the time. And then I just couldn't really progress anymore because I kept falling through walls. Like every time I jumped up onto a ledge, it was like I glitched through the ledge and I was standing on the ground, but I couldn't move anywhere.
That happened to me in the sewers.
Yeah, and you just get stuck and you either have to restart, and I have other games to play. I have other stuff to do, so
or have to reload from your save and redo a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth all that hassle, or it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just haven't played any of it. So, what was the setting for this one?
The setting for this one is 1307. You're in like Boston area. I'm just going to read the little synopsis that I have. Templar hides a sword in a book in a crypt before being assassinated. You see them in a memory flash forward due to de Molay's death and him cursing King Philip IV and Pope Clement V. So I think we're in England. We might be in America, maybe French Revolution era.
I was going to say
that's what I thought it was. I thought it was French.
Yeah, French Revolution, I think. In the present time, Bishop, a member of the modern-day Assassins' Brotherhood, takes control of the memory. The memory moves forward to Versailles in 1776.
There you go.
Yeah. In the memory, Arnaud Dorian meets Elsie de la Serene. She is the daughter of the Templar Grandmaster. After this, the story skips forward to Arnaud sneaking into a party to meet with Elise, where when he sneaks out, he finds the Grandmaster murdered and is mistaken as the killer. After he escapes from prison itself.
Do you guys want me to talk about this? Because I feel like you're reading Wikipedia right now.
I am reading.
Okay. So yeah, I played through the beginning part of this. Yeah, Arnaud's framed for the Grandmaster's murder.
Yeah.
Who is the man that actually took him in after his father was killed at Versailles. His girlfriend, lover, lady is the daughter of this man and she is also a Templar. A Templar, Jesus Christ, a Templar. I just said it like an Englishman.
Templar.
A Templar. Yeah. She is also a Templar, which she tells Arnaud right before he goes to meet and become an assassin, which is where I just ended today. But yeah, this game takes place in the French Revolution. We already talked about that, right?
Yep.
We just did,
during the French Revolution? Okay, cool.
Mentioned it.
The reason why I think this game, though, had so many issues when it first came out was because this was the first leap to next gen.
Yep.
And again, it all ties back to that 1-year development cycle. This game took such a leap, just like Assassin's Creed 3. The graphic level in this game, the crowds, the buildings, the level of detail in this game compared to Assassin's Creed 4, which was the previous game that got ported to Xbox One and PS4, is incredible in this game. Like the level of the jump, because I just went from playing the 360 level graphics of Rogue and Assassin's Creed 4 to this game on my PC, and it is much better looking. Oh my god. Like it is great.
Because they're on a whole new engine.
Absolutely. Yep. They went to a new engine for this game, a new physics engine. They redesigned all the motion capture, everything. And there is literally hundreds of people in the crowds, like in this game.
Hundreds, yeah.
Hundreds of people.
And you don't see the same faces like you do in Assassin's Creed 1.
No, it's I'm enjoying it. I think Arnaud so far is actually a really good character. He's very similar to Ezio, and he has kind of a similar origin because of his father being killed as a kid and his father being an assassin and stuff like that. But all that aside, I think he's really witty. He's funny.
Yeah.
And so far it's been well written. I like already that I remember bits and pieces about the game. I forgot that you find out that Elise is a Templar this early. Like,
Yeah.
I played the game for like 2 hours, and I was like, oh shit, okay. I had forgot that he was framed for killing her father. Forgot about that also. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I think it's written a lot better. I think honestly the thing that really bogged this game down was just the glitches.
Yeah.
I would really recommend that you guys play it again now that all the glitches have been fixed. It probably will be on sale again soon on PC or whatever. It plays pretty well on my PC. It runs well. It looks great. And this is they actually went kind of back to the old a lot of what made Assassin's Creed really good with Ezio. Like all the same sounds for when you're like fucking looting a box and the same like icons like with the exclamation point in the diamond and stuff like that where the missions are. And they took everything that was really good from all the previous Assassin's Creed and they perfected it and put it in this game. Like everything that was great about any individual Assassin's Creed, they put it in this game. So, and they overhauled the climbing. So, in Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, you would just climb by sprinting. You would just automatically climb everything, and it was super fucking annoying because you would climb random shit. That was super annoying.
That's not what I wanted. I didn't want to go on the barrel.
In this game, you actually have control. So if you want to climb something while you're sprinting, you hold A, like in the old games. But while you're free running, you can control whether, like, if you're on a building, you can just hold right trigger and keep going and stay at like the same level you're at. If you want to go farther up, you hit A, and he will vertically, vertically free run. If you want to like organically run down instead of just jumping to your fucking death, like in every Assassin's Creed before this, you actually hold B, and he'll automatically he'll get to the ledge, grab the ledge, and just like jump down the ledge instead of you having to time and hit B and letting go. It's much smoother and it's a lot better. It's really good.
I was enjoying the game. That carries through the next ones really well.
Yep. This also it gives a pretty good look so far at how the order works. This is actually the only game I think where you become an assassin and you're not just either the only assassin or you're immediately the master. Because Assassin's Creed 3, you're the only assassin. You're Connor, and you're just learning from Achilles, and that's it. Yep. As Ezio, you're basically learning on the fly.
And then you become the master.
You become the Grandmaster. You don't learn anything official at all. Like, and then this one, he meets the order. He becomes an initiate instead of just being an assassin, and it's really cool. They also kind of upgraded the gear here, so you don't just buy outfits anymore like you did in the other games. Like there's a ton of different like hoods and jackets and clothes and stuff. Like you can actually change him and change his armor and his cloak style, and it's really cool. I'm enjoying it. From what I remember of the story part of it, it's kind of pointless to play it. You don't actually need to play this game at all. If you really care about the modern day story.
I feel like this one was a test of the next gen.
Yeah, I agree. It's like proof of concept.
Yeah. But not that it was bad, but it was kind of like a filler episode, if you will.
Yeah, don't worry. We're about to get a bunch of those because we're about to be leaping to a next generation of consoles. So we're about to get a bunch of games like that, which are going to be like proof of concept games that just never get picked up ever.
Yeah, you know how like there's 300 episodes of Naruto, but you can like skip 70 of them because they're.
You can skip a lot more than that, Cheyenne. Yeah, you can skip like 200 episodes.
I feel like there's a lot of them you could skip because they're just fillers. But
yes, yeah,
that's what this one was for me.
Yeah. So the story again is you are told you want that Arno at some point in his life comes in contact with a sage. And he might know the location of his corpse. You play the entire game, and at the very end, Arno kills the sage, leaves him in a vault, and you're like, oh, cool, okay. And they're like, oh wait, we have one more memory to access. And at the end of the game, it's Arno basically putting that man's skeleton in the catacombs under Paris, with millions of other corpses.
Nice.
And then it's like, oh, I guess we'll never find him. Oh well. That literally is how it ends in the credits. And I was just like, really? Really? I just played through the whole game and got nothing resolved?
Nothing.
Yeah. So I was lucky I didn't have any game ending glitches when I played it. So I played it. I actually enjoyed it. There's also a co-op. Like you can do co-op story missions in this game. That was the big thing, like the quote unquote Unity thing. So you can do invite other players that are playing the game, up to 4 people, and do co-op missions, which I thought was cool. I think Chris and I did it a couple times, but I don't think we did it any more than that.
Mm-mm.
It's a 1-player game for me. I want to keep it a 1-player.
I agree. I that's why they didn't do it again after that.
Know. They tried, but it didn't work for me.
But yeah, so you guys already got everything you wanted to say out before I came back, right?
Yeah, basically, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I just got a game ending glitch where I couldn't assassinate a main quest character. Like when I got up to her and I went to stab her, it would just freeze every fucking time. So I couldn't progress, and I was just like, fuck this game.
Well, we can combine Steam libraries after the podcast, because I know Cheyenne wants to do that. So you guys can download them if you want to play them, so you don't have to buy them.
Thanks.
So you can replay them. So yeah, so I guess we'll move on to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Sorry, I forgot to do all the years again. We're still on a yearly basis. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate is 2015. This one took place in, I think late 1800s in England, I believe. I can't remember the actual date. This is the only Assassin's Creed game to date. Just kidding. Never mind. I haven't finished Odyssey actually, but this one was like they've pretty much reinvented the entire series, starting with Origins, and it's just they don't even fucking care anymore. They're just making cool games now that are just completely standalone. Yeah. But this was the last one that had the that old original style. The third-person action game, run through the city and do missions and stuff. Which has been the same.
Some of that in Odyssey.
Yeah, but it's not
focus.
Yeah, it's not. It's nowhere near the same. The game, like Chris has played Odyssey. He'll probably talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, so Assassin's Creed Syndicate. You actually the thing about this one was that you played as a pair of twins, Jacob and Evie Fry. From what I remember, I did not like Jacob at all. I thought he was a dick and an asshole and really annoying. But I really liked Evie. She was really cool. She was actually smart and much cooler than Jacob. All he wanted to do was walk in and punch everybody in the face.
Whereas, she was actually like.
Yeah, Evie was actually really like. Yeah, she had everything planned out and was real strategical about things. Whereas again, Jacob just didn't care and would just walk right in and fuck people up. I haven't finished this game. I don't think any of us have we?
Never played it.
Never played it.
I tried. I really tried.
Yeah, Chris got off the Assassin's Creed bandwagon after Unity because he was so mad about the glitches in that game. It soured him.
It did.
But yeah, this is going to be the point where we get through these a lot faster. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to say about Syndicate, really.
I like that they added a girl.
I did too. I thought she was way better, way better than they should have just had it be her instead of
instead of them being twins or whatever.
Yeah, I like being able to switch between them, but I feel like that was them, like, because they were really if I remember, people were really criticizing them for not having a female main character yet after like how awesome Elise was in Unity.
Yeah.
But you don't get to play as her.
Well, they did have they did have a female protagonist, but it was in the PSP Liberation.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
Nobody
they
played.
had Liberation that nobody played. Yeah, and then they had the Chinese.
Oh yeah, that was a girl. Yeah, but that was just
that was like a side scroller.
One-off story. It wasn't even like an actual game, like an installment.
Yeah, we're only talking about the base installments in this episode. There's way too many other Assassin's Creed games.
There is, but I'm just, but yeah, you're right.
I know,
we're getting a lot of criticisms because in their main games they didn't have a female protag yet.
Yep. And I think that Syndicate would have been just fine if it was just Evie the whole time.
Yeah, they didn't.
I feel like they just wanted they wanted to straddle the fence there and play both sides. which I'm fine with. I'm fine with, again, the representation, which they do really well in Odyssey, where you can just choose if you want to be male or female. It's really nice.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I don't have much to say about Syndicate. Apparently, it's really good, and I will replay it. I'm going to play Syndicate and finish Unity and Syndicate before I play Valhalla.
Yeah.
So
fine. I'm gonna be playing Valhalla.
That's fine. You can enjoy it, and then you can watch me enjoy it. I don't know. It's fine. It's all good. I'll have plenty of time to play it. But yeah. So I guess we'll move to Origins again. I think Cheyenne, have you played Origins?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I played the crap out of Origins because
you beat Origins, right?
No.
Played the crap out of it.
I did play the crap out of it. I got all the side missions. Anyway, I really tried to get into Syndicate, and I don't know why I couldn't. But Origins, I really dived back into my love for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I think this is where they really understood, like, you know what? We needed to stop, like, people are getting burnt out. Okay. People are getting burnt out on this. Like, it's coming out every single year, and they're getting less and less sales every single year. And they finally were like, you know what? We need to take a step back. We need to reinvent Assassin's Creed, and it needs to not come out every single year because people are getting tired of it.
Yeah, yeah.
They milked the cow until it went dry, and
they did.
At least credit to them for realizing that it was a time for a change.
Yeah, I'm glad they reinvented the wheel almost.
Yeah, they pretty much threw everything about Desmond's story and everything from Assassin's Creed 4. They threw it out the window. You still play as some random. Is she like Israeli or something, like Egyptian?
She's like an archaeologist.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Yeah, she's some kind of, it looks like Middle Eastern woman,
right? And she has the background.
What is her name?
Again, in this one and in Odyssey, the
I think it really
current timeline are so forgettable because you
literally don't have to play as her at all except for the very beginning.
Yeah,
and then literally the very end of Origins.
Yeah, it just is so there.
She's incredibly
forgettable.
It doesn't even say anything
is really
about
cool.
Her. Yeah, Bayek is really cool, but it doesn't even say anything about her in the little synopsises that I have pulled up.
Because she's so forgettable and not important.
Yeah, I really hope when Sarah gets home from work tomorrow and starts playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, she's like, "There's no modern day character anymore." I really hope that she says that.
Maybe.
I really hope that she just plays as whoever the Viking, and actually the male and female characters actually had different names this time.
I guess you'll have to.
They have like a slight change.
But
I guess our audience will have to listen next week and find out.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about. Well, maybe not, because I won't have played it. Will you guys be playing it? Are you guys going to play it at all this week? Yeah. Okay.
No.
Gosh. Wow.
Yeah, I like how we're having. Yeah, Sarah's the only one.
I've got finals. I don't have time.
I got school shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be playing it by next week. I know Jake said he's going to probably get the game also, but probably not day one. But
yeah, that's Valhalla is my reward for getting through this semester. So
fair enough.
Same.
And then Cyberpunk is your reward for just buying Assassin's Creed Valhalla, right?
No,
You're not getting Cyberpunk, are you?
Cyberpunk is my reward for getting through 2020.
That's good. That's good.
You earned it.
Yeah. Made it, baby.
Woo. But yeah,
right.
I was gonna say I played a couple hours into this, probably maybe 6 hours into it, and working. I kind of spoiled myself with this because I played the shit out of Odyssey, and then I went back and played Origins. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I get why Matt, when he was playing Odyssey, got so burnt out on it, because it is very similar in the structure of, you've got these, what is it, the henchmen or whatever, the different heads of the snake.
Yeah.
And you've got to go and kill them, hunt them down.
It is very similar.
The setup is very similar in that aspect. So, and that's why I ended up not playing as much, because I was like, I just did this.
I got to the point in Origins of No Return, where you were supposed to get on the boat and go meet Bayek's wife for that.
That is not far at all.
No.
No. For the it was you have to complete all of your side quests now.
Have to?
We're you're not coming back.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you got there and didn't finish the game.
I didn't finish it.
Oh my god.
I was right at the end, I know.
You were literally like an hour or two away. Wow.
I know.
That's the fucking that part of the game
I'm
is
nowhere
so
near there.
awesome.
But when
Yeah,
the
well, you haven't
game
played
says,
Origins.
okay, there's no turning back, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go back and finish everything.
Oh,
I
Oh.
can't
An
move
Odyssey.
forward.
oh,
They gotta
yeah,
not tell me. They gotta not tell me. They don't need that warning. Like, just go.
That
just trick you into it.
you still
Yeah,
get
basically,
free
because
roam
I
after
still
that. It's
haven't beat
not-
it.
If you ever played a game where it's just like, all right, that's the end of the game, you don't get to collect anything or
You
do
get to
anything
go
side
back.
missions. Yes, you get to go back every time. It's just saying that now for the
You need-
is the end of the game.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't
So
need to
just
know.
go fucking beat it, but you won't. And
No,
it's okay.
she's not gonna pick it up.
Then she'll be like the same thing she did with Witcher 3. I don't know what's
I have to
happening anymore. I gotta restart.
Hey, at least I did.
How many
beat
times
it.
did you restart Witcher? Probably 4
Twice.
times.
Twice?
Or you restarted 2 times. So
Yeah.
it took you 3 playthroughs to actually finish it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I like Bayek as a character. I think I
Yeah.
really appreciate his relationship with his wife. I thought was cute.
He was really cute. I liked
Yeah.
how his relationship with his town too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the whole Medjay
Siwa.
thing.
Yeah.
Bayek of Siwa.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you actually find out the reason. So this game is called Origins because Bayek and his wife Maya.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah.
Actually, basically, they formed the Creed itself,
Mm-hmm.
not the Assassin's Brotherhood or anything, but they formed the Creed, because whatever. I guess I don't want to spoil it for Chris because I'm sure I think that he probably will want to play it at some point. I don't know.
You
if
can
he will.
say it. You can say it. It's fine.
All right, so basically, Caesar is a Templar, or a modern day. They don't call themselves Templars then, but you need to go and so Caesar, has like remember when Cleopatra and Caesar got together, right, in actual real history. So Caesar is trying to take over and rule Egypt with Cleopatra, and you end up beating Caesar's army in Egypt, and then Maya, you play as Maya at the very end, and you go and assassinate. You help Brutus assassinate Caesar. It's pretty awesome.
Brute.
Yeah, but so I remember at the end, Bayek and Maya have like this thing where they decide that I think the greater good is more important than their relationship. So Bayek becomes like the assassin of Egypt, like the mentor in Egypt, and she actually goes and starts to creates the Brotherhood in Italy.
Their whole throughout that game, they spend a lot of time apart, for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember. I don't remember who the inventor is, but it's someone develops and makes the hidden blade, and Bayek uses it for the first time to kill a guy, and he uses it and it goes through his finger because of how it's designed, and that's where that came from.
Yeah,
because it removed his ring finger.
Yeah, it went straight through his ring finger, because he had his hand closed like this, and it went through it when he used it. So
sweet.
That's where that tradition came from.
Yeah. Yep. So anyone that ever got a hidden blade, you had to have your ring finger cut off to be committed enough, I guess. But Origins is really good.
Yeah.
It's still new enough to where I don't really want to spoil a whole lot of it. Obviously,
yeah.
But the game it's really good. They totally rehauled the gameplay. You can button mash the shit out of it now. It plays exactly like it's very similar to Dark Souls and Breath of the Wild combat, where you lock onto someone and you just hit RB.
You beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah, and you hit them like 75 times before you kill them.
Yeah.
Everyone has levels and stuff like that. So, and you have a bunch of different weapons and special abilities and shit. And then Odyssey is just like that. Takes place in Greece. Sarah, you can talk. Sarah can talk the most. I think she's the only person in these 3 that have beat it.
I beat the main game, and I am really close to finishing the DLC, but I am getting really stuck on the last boss. I think it's the last boss, but I love this game. I played the shit out of it through the last year PT school when we were in clinical. I love that you could play as Cassandra. That's who I played as, and I feel like it was so much better from when I got to see Matt play. What was the dude's name? Alexio. Yeah, he was an asshole, and I feel like it was
said the same lines.
I know, but it just the way he delivered it. But I really appreciated. I thought Cassandra was such a good character. I really liked some of the side characters. I really love Phoebe, the little girl in the beginning. She comes back in the DLC, like later down the line in some of the kind of crazy like mythological place. That's the whole DLC is like all about different like the god worlds and stuff like that. But I love the story. It's really about the whole like discovery of who Cassandra's lineage is and trying to find out, what she needs to do, and then in the process kind of, fighting for Greece throughout it. Starting off with like the Spartans and things like that. And then finding out who her real dad is and trying to find
her. For Chris.
Well,
it's okay. Yeah, it's.
I don't think
Chris really cares that much.
No, but just kind of following her growth and then helping Greece like grow and develop and become like they're fighting through. I'm trying to remember who they're fighting.
Well, they're having the
civil war between the Spartans
fighting the Athenians.
Yeah, and trying to like, and it's a huge map. It's so fucking big.
It's like Just Cause, like if anyone watching or whatever.
It's insane. I didn't even get to every single one of the like countries or whatever or the areas in it. But it's kind of similar to Origins where you are going through and trying to cut off heads of this, organization and getting through to the the head of it. And then the whole kind of point of this is that you're trying to find, it's kind of like another piece of Eden, basically, of like the staff. It's like this big staff. I don't remember what the staff is called, but it's a big staff. And trying to unlock and get to Atlantis. As like that was the first civilization was Atlantis, and trying to like unlock the secrets of that to like help them, basically, like to help society advance. But it's such a good game. I really loved all of the mechanics of the battles. I thought was really cool. I really liked doing those where you would have to fight.
Everybody else is fighting around you, and you're
and you have to like win the tide in order, like you have to do successful combos or whatever. I really liked that mechanic. I thought the ship fighting mechanics were pretty good too. It wasn't too complicated again for little simplicity.
It's the same. It's the same as Assassin's Creed 4.
But I found that not frustrating to the point where it was annoying me, but definitely a little bit of a challenge at times, but it was very good. I really liked the some of the Colosseum kind of style fights where you would just get wave after wave and then you get certain prizes for stuff. I thought that was really cool. I rode horses a little bit, but I climbed the shit out of everything in sight. So, and I ran everywhere.
But I like the GPS horses that you can just tell where to run.
That part was nice. One of
the greatest things ever invented in gaming.
Just go to waypoint.
Go there, horse, and while I sit here on my phone.
Yeah. Especially with how big that is. One other thing that I just remembered, I really like if you're on the ship for a long time, and also you can like pick your different types of crew. So like if you want like all female crew, you can have all female crew, or they've got different like from all different places of the world. But when you're riding in the ship for a long time in like the travel mode, they will start like singing songs or like telling stories, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, they sing shanties in Assassin's Creed 4 and in Rogue. They have songs.
So like I had like Viking crew and they would sing different songs. It was pretty cool.
I appreciated this one a lot for the Greek mythology aspect.
I loved it. Yeah.
I'm big into Greek mythology. I read a lot about it, and I loved it for that aspect of it.
Yeah, the DLC goes way deep into it with like Persephone and Hades and, you know, all of them. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, you get to fight Cerberus.
You do. You get to fight Cerberus. You get to ride around on Hades' horse with like the smoke as his mane and the flames as his mane. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
You get to ride as a unicorn if you got that.
Sarah bought that.
Yeah, I did.
Sarah bought that.
I did.
Sarah bought that DLC. She bought right in. She was like, "Oh, give me that."
Yeah, it's like a unicorn. And it has little rainbows that come behind you when you ride through the towns. It's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that will pretty much wrap up that part. I think we've finally gotten through all of them after 3 hours.
Yeah.
We really hustled through the last 4.
Yeah.
But real quick, so where do you think things kind of changed for Assassin's Creed and why? Real quick, everybody.
Assassin's Creed 4, I think, is where they did this departure from. I don't know. It's just I feel like the story was going on one trajectory, and then it was just like, fuck it, we're just gonna go anywhere because make it convoluted so no one understands, so that we're not held to continuity.
Yeah, I think the reason why that ended up happening in the long run, I know that the original concept writers left, or they were fired, or the people that originally were writing and thought of this concept. I know they either left or were fired or whatever, but it was early on. It was definitely before Assassin's Creed 4, I believe. But I feel like the people that were left did not know how to do it justice and like wrap it up the right way with like the whole like Templars Assassins thing and all that stuff, and like, the real world shit that was actually happening. And I just don't, I feel like they were just like, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares? People don't like the real world stuff anyway. We're just going to start. It's just, fuck it. Who cares? And they just started throwing shit at a dartboard.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense, especially in these later ones that we played. Like we said, it's the real world part is so forgettable. The whole point is just so that way you can get back into it. Yeah. It's the whole reason why they're there is like, oh, yes, we finally found the tomb. Now we can go in. Or, I found this DNA. Let's try it and see if it works. And then you get to go in. But it's, the whole part of them being incorporated in it is it's just so you can get back in.
Yep. Yeah. And I really, my biggest hope for Valhalla is they literally you're just that Viking the entire time.
I really hope so.
I just come on, please. Just stop. Just stop.
Stop with the real world meta
it doesn't matter anymore. You've already showed that it doesn't matter because you just threw the original story out the window completely.
It doesn't have to be your ancestor. It can just be anybody.
It could just be called Assassin's Creed and you play as the assassin the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's basically Assassin's Creed in name only now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the time period for these last 3, like the main characters aren't even an assassin. You're just playing as a character. Like, why the fuck is Odyssey even called Assassin's Creed?
Yeah,
because you play as someone that's a killer and it has something to do with some conspiracy. That's it.
In name only.
Yeah, she is, part god or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the game.
Oh. I thought you were looking at me that. I was like,
no.
Fuck.
No. The game that's happening right there next to you.
I was going to say, based on these discussions, it seems like kind of after, like, Revelations, like the end of Ezio, it kind of seemed to really change. But that's just, based off you guys' discussions. Like, obviously.
Sorry, I interrupted Cheyenne. So go ahead, Cheyenne. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like one of the main turning points was definitely after Ezio's story ended. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like a lull. But then when Origins came out and they kind of like reinvented the way that they were gonna do it, they left behind all of the old stuff.
Nonsense.
Yeah, all the stuff that they were trying to hang on to from Ezio that just didn't work in the next couple of games. They tried to make it work, but it just didn't work. But in Origins they were like, okay, what if we try something completely different? And I feel like that really worked. I really got into Origins. I didn't get a whole lot into Odyssey. I just didn't have a lot of time. I still don't have a lot of time. Because in 2018 is when I started working full time. So, I haven't had I don't think I've beaten a game since I started working full time. Well, no, I beat Witcher, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I got back into my love for Assassin's Creed with Origins. So like with Ezio, it was like awesome, loved it. Then it was kind of like a lull, and then back in with Origins and Odyssey. So
yeah.
I think that was the evolution for me.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it just kind of keeps going up, and I hope that Valhalla, it looks like it's gonna be amazing. It looks beautiful, and even Odyssey was, such a visually like really pleasing game. The graphics looked really good, especially with how huge that map was, being able to load all of that. So I thought that I'm hoping it just is got as strong of a storyline.
So yeah, using that to kind of go ahead and move on to what we're gonna do real quick. We're gonna look ahead to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're gonna talk about the time period, the location, real quick, the character, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the outro and all that stuff, or the last segment. So, it's set in 873 A.D. And it's gonna be in England. You play as a Viking raider who becomes embroiled in the conflict between the Brotherhood of Assassins and the Templar Order. So at least the Assassins and Templars are back in this one.
Yeah, we're going back to the
finally
good stuff.
It comes out tomorrow, November 10th, for all major platforms. And that's it's so far it's getting positive reviews, but that's as far as I wanted to go. I wanted to talk about the character and stuff like that, but we're all right. So we're gonna get to our we're gonna debut a new segment here.
At the end of
the very end of our 3-hour, 18-minute long
nobody's
podcast.
gonna make it to the end.
Yeah, no one's gonna make it, but hey, if you made it here,
you're here, what's wrong with you?
You made it. Yeah, what's wrong with you? Exactly. Go to bed.
Really fucking love Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, for real. All right. So, our new segment that I am calling, until we figure out a better name, is called Fast Food Fling.
Alliteration, baby!
Yes. So, this is definitely not a total blatant ripoff of a certain podcast. One of our favorite podcasts of recent time at all. It definitely isn't at all whatsoever a ripoff. But yeah, so we're gonna probably morph this, as time goes on, and kind of like chisel out a good rating system. We're not gonna use a number-based system. We're gonna we'll probably figure it up right here on the fly, because that's what we do. That's how we do things here. We don't plan ahead or anything. So yeah. So we tried 2 things this week, 2 fast food items that are new. We're gonna have this segment is gonna be dedicated to limited time or new menu items on a fast food menu. Okay, so we tried Wendy's new, I think it's bacon chicken pub. Yeah, the chicken bacon pub and the pub sandwich and burger, which I will look up because I was not prepared at all.
Yeah.
What and so I can read exactly.
Yeah,
what's on it?
On the pretzel bun, which is like a new thing.
Yes,
that has come out.
Which is I was excited for, and I only saw the pub burger. I didn't realize that
they're called Wendy's
you just
new.
Cut her off entirely.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cheyenne. You were excited about the buns.
Well, I liked the idea of the buns, but I didn't even realize that there was a chicken option. Like I thought it was just a pub burger. I didn't realize it was the like a chicken burger or a chicken patty also.
Yeah,
so
and you can get it spicy too.
Didn't know
or grilled.
I didn't know that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the spicy.
So, for the sake of this one, we tried the new pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Sorry, I wanted to get the official real name to do it a little bit of justice. So what comes on it is, so on the cheeseburger, there's a 1/4 pound of here we go. I'll just read it. The pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger features a 1/4 pound of fresh beef topped with Munster cheese, 3 strips of Applewood smoked bacon, smoky honey mustard, warm beer cheese sauce, crispy fried onions and pickles on a soft pretzel bun.
And then the chicken
is the same with just chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we tried that this week.
Did that talk about the honey mustard?
Yes,
Yeah.
it said honey mustard.
Okay.
I literally read what it said. Yeah.
Part.
So yeah, we did the regular homestyle chicken sandwich and the one patty burger. And we're gonna talk about. Okay, Jake, since he isn't here, he's being revived for just a second. His ghost is here. He says he really liked the chicken sandwich way better.
I have to agree with Jake.
I agree. Yes, I think we're gonna get to everyone. I don't know. Chris is looking around like, So I
liked them both a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start the chicken sandwich. I thought it was very good. I did get it with no onions because I despise onions. So I'm sorry.
I think they're really good.
I tried it with pickles. I ate my first half of it with pickles. I did not like the pickles on it at all. I do not like pickles with chicken.
I liked it.
I don't. I do not like pickles with chicken at all.
Fat pickles.
The pretzel bun was great though.
Mm-hmm.
Loved how soft and good, just fucking good that it was. It was so good.
The pretzel bun held up really nicely because it is like a saucy thing. Like
it's
a really saucy burger.
But
yeah.
It like, a lot of times you get to the end of the sandwich and you only have like a little tiny piece of bread and this much sandwich left. But I felt like it really held up. So
yeah,
that was good.
All right. So since Sarah and I were giving our opinions at the same time, go ahead, Cheyenne. Your opinion on the chicken sandwich.
Oh, I really liked it. It was a little bit on the saucy side for me. I'm not really a saucy person.
Well, it was mostly cheese.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's still a saucy cheese. It's a
but it was like
sauce.
it was melty beer cheese, But and even though I'm not really like a melty kind of saucy person, I thought it was really good. I'm a big fan of honey mustard anyway. And I was more excited for the burger than I was the chicken sandwich, obviously, because I didn't even know there was a chicken version of it, but I liked the chicken version way more than the burger. I don't know why, it just worked. The flavors worked better, but I didn't dislike the burger. I just really liked the chicken.
I think the chicken adds like a crunch, which is nice as a
it just
contrast.
it just goes really well with all of the flavors that you got: honey mustard, bacon, cheese. Like, I don't know, burger was good. It's just not as good as the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I got both
so is
sandwiches.
That your review of the both at the same time?
Yep.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Go ahead.
I got
Chris.
both sandwiches and ate them both. Ate them one after the other.
Oh Jesus!
Chris is a certified fatty.
His arteries are
my god.
But I'll admit that I didn't know that I could do the chicken pub burger thing. Instead,
Spicy.
I didn't know I could do it spicy. I didn't do it on a pretzel bun. I got the classic chicken sandwich.
Oh,
I thought I was just trying the fucking new chicken patty, which I loved. I liked how it was.
Stop calling them. I resent that you guys are calling them chicken patties. They are full on chicken breasts.
They're
not patties.
I like the crispy.
Patties are ground up, disgusting.
It's like actual pieces.
It's not a McChicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have redone the way they do their crispy chicken.
Yeah, and
I like the different breading. I thought it was flavorful. I actually liked the pickles with that. And I wrote a note that said, I'm ready for the spicy version. So that's awesome.
They already got it for you, Chris.
All right.
And
all right,
then
Chris, go ahead and talk
for
about
the pub burger, I got a double cheeseburger with that one. And I got a ton of bacon on that bitch. I liked the softness
like six
of the pretzel
pieces.
bun. The beer cheese was fantastic in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It really made the burger and the bacon pop. And it impressed me, honestly. Like Wendy's really pulled it out of the hat on that. And I was just like, good job. But I will have a side note and say eating both sandwiches consecutively does not sit well on the stomach.
No.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. I was gonna say I ate this before
I was hungry.
volleyball, and I really had to make sure it had enough time to sit before it ran around.
Oh yeah.
But it's
I told you it was gonna be like that.
Yeah.
You still wanted it.
I know, it's good. You want to talk about your burger with the pickles?
Yeah. So I had my burger again with no Nope, no onions. Because again, I hate onions, so I'm sorry.
I really like the onions.
Oh yeah, except for none
Me
of you
too.
said anything about the onions the entire time we're describing.
Listening.
I like the onions. I like onions though.
I think
Same.
they're good because just like the crispy part, it also is like a little bit of crunch. What
It
did they
goes
call
with-
them?
it
The
goes
onion
with the burger.
tanglers.
Yeah, they're called onion tanglers.
That's what the guy said when
Yeah,
he
I said no onions, please.
No onion
No.
tanglers.
God.
Like fuck off. I said no onions, bitch. You know what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I also thought the burger was very good, but it was not as good as the chicken sandwich. But I did like the pickles on the burger a lot better. And I'm not really a pickle guy, but I'm going to try to have these as close as possible. Normally I do all like plain shit because I'm a basic ass bitch. And I'm going to try my best to have everything, as long as it's not mayonnaise or onions or like legit mustard. I hate mustard too.
He just doesn't like
I
sauce.
don't like sauces. I like
I fucking love sauce.
You're the fucking
too.
I'm right there with you.
Sauce
Matt.
queen.
Mustard is
Sultan
like-
of sauce right here. Sultan of sauce.
Honey mustard
Sauce.
is like the only sauce that I really like.
Oh no! And if anybody hasn't tried the Sauceum sauce from Wendy's, so good for chicken nuggets and fries.
I have not tried that.
It's really good. I love it.
Yep. All right. Well, what do we want to rate the burger since we think that it wasn't as good? I'm gonna say
4 out of 5 French fries.
I said no numbers.
No numbers.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
we're not
It's
doing
difficult.
numbers.
It's difficult to get a
it's
sense of
too-
scale.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, all right, we're gonna try before we bring this back next time. We're gonna try to think of like really like a kind of funnier like ratings for each one. So we've already, Chris, I think already said, what did you want? You wanted the bottom one. What did you say you wanted that to be, Chris? Or no, like
I don't know.
the meh is gonna be it makes a turd.
Oh yeah, yeah. Minimally decent as it makes a turd. Yeah,
Yeah. So
True.
it's like it's not bad, but it's not good. So it's it makes a turd.
exactly.
God, stop.
Hey, don't do that.
What's the worst?
The worst, I don't know. We'll probably do like dog shit or like cat shit or something.
Makes me
Like,
want to
I don't
barf.
know,
I don't
Cat piss. I don't don't know. Something bad.
Diarrhea?
Diarrhea.
Nauseating.
No, I don't think
You just
so.
say it's
It's nauseating. Good. Man, I don't know. Should we do just like for like the best? Should it be like jizztastic or bonerific?
No.
No.
It's got to be penis related.
Why not?
Yeah, damn.
All right, fine. We'll talk about it later. But I thought
I think your middle
burger
good should be
is-
would get again.
would get again. Yeah, I'd get that one. Yeah, would get again for the burger then.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Would-
in the middle, kind of like it's not great, but it was good. I would definitely eat it again.
For the chicken, I would say definitely you should try it.
I'd highly recommend.
But we weren't gonna do the chicken one. Yeah,
Well,
because
too bad.
I
We're
gave
doing
my
the chicken
burger,
one now.
and then we're gonna go in order
I
for.
think everybody's in agreement for
we do
that.
them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's move this along.
Mm-hmm. It is
It's
bedtime.
been 3.5
Bedtime.
hours.
It really has been a long time.
All right, go ahead. Everybody else go.
Okay, I think everybody else agrees that the burger.
I like
It's
that you're
good.
giving everyone's rating all together.
Get them.
We're in agreement.
Yeah.
We don't have to
Exactly.
go one
I'd
at
say
a
it's
time
pretty good.
to say the exact same thing. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, if you're looking for something new, give it a try. The chicken, definitely, like, you should go to Wendy's at some point this week and try it.
Highly recommend.
Okay, so fine. Chicken sandwiches, go get it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the burger is
Give it a try.
give it or I'd have it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Wrap this bitch up.
Can you calm down?
No.
Let's
This
go.
is not your public.
It is now. Taking the
It is
reins.
now,
Oh.
bitch.
This is it. This is my one time.
Then guests don't return. Very much. Remember, you're a guest here.
I know.
You're a guest here.
I'm oversaying my
Yeah, but it's
welcome.
been 3.5 hours.
All right, I'm ending it in just a second. Can you shut up? Jeez, Christ. All right, I did. Shut up. Everybody's like fucking end, but I want to keep fucking talking.
Nope.
God, can I end now? Can I end it? All right, real quick. I wanted to say something before the outro. Okay, I wanted to say thanks to everybody that donated for Extra Life. I appreciate it. But on a it's not like sad note or anything like that, but I am going to be significantly scaling back my streaming after tonight. I haven't discussed this with Sarah or anything. This is just kind of off the cuff that I wanted to announce that I'm going to be trying to work a lot more uh, going forward. And I've just been way too stressed out about numbers and shit like that. And over the last month or so, I'm still going to stream. I'm sure this isn't breaking anybody's heart that's watching because nobody watches anyway. So I will be streaming still. I have to do a 12 or not a 12-hour iRacing VR stream because we did reach that stretch goal on the Extra Life thing. I'll try to do that this week. But I'm going to be significantly scaling back on streaming and not really pursuing that. I'm going to be focusing way more on the podcast. Just simply because my personal streaming account has just been more or less just stressing me out about numbers, and I've been trying my very best, and it's been just getting worse. So it's whatever. It's fine. I'm beyond caring now. So
I feel like this podcast is something that has really kind of, I don't know, like brought out the best parts of what you love about doing this kind of stuff. It's just something I feel like you get more passionate about, and it's something that really gets you excited, to think about what you're going to talk about. And it's also nice you get to hang out with, some of your best friends.
Yeah. The thing that I really have hated the most about streaming, as often as I've tried to do over the last few months, has been really how little we get to just chill and play games now, which is like almost never. So I'm gonna try to I might stream maybe once or twice a week, maybe not even once a week sometimes. It's gonna be very very not as close to
sporadic.
Yeah, it's gonna be sporadic and nothing is gonna be planned. It's just gonna be off the cuff. I feel like streaming tonight, so I will. So
nothing else going on.
Yeah. So sorry, I guess if that disappoints anybody. I don't know that it will. Maybe you guys, but I don't know. I want to dedicate more time to chilling with you guys and not just talking to you on the podcast.
We just want you to be happy, man. So we're happy for this.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be some stuff, us and the podcast crew are going to have a meeting here in a couple weeks. And, one part I do want to go ahead and say what I will be doing is I will be creating a Twitter, and I already not a Twitter, a Twitch account for the podcast group where we will play co-op games and stuff like that streaming. That's going to be called the Nerdy as Hell Gaming is going to be the channel. That's also, I've already created a YouTube channel where starting this week, that is where the YouTube version of this podcast is going to be. It's not going to be on my personal channel. It's going to be on the YouTube channel, Nerdy as Hell Gaming. It has the same exact cover art as the podcast art. So if you want to watch the video version, that's where it's going to be from now on. I will link every time I post it. I'll post it on my Twitter and the podcast Twitter. But are going to attempt to actually build and create a brand out of with this podcast, not just make it a podcast, but in the future do some other things with the brand. So next year we're going to try to do a whole bunch of stuff. If you guys like the podcast, if you guys want to support the podcast, next year we're going to start really branching out and doing other things. We might have some more people on the podcast. It might just be me and one other person, or it might be just, Cheyenne or Chris doing something, whatever. But we will be doing group streams on that channel instead of my personal channel now. Because I want to build up a brand here. Two,
it's boring to stream by yourself.
It's boring to stream by myself, and I just don't like doing it anymore. Because I'm a social gamer. I like chilling with friends and playing games. While I enjoy when I'm by myself playing games, it's because I want to be by myself. I like that idea, actually. So Cheyenne, for some reason in the chat, just said Cheyenne and Chris play horror games.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we are gonna mess around. You guys might not hear anything else about this for weeks or months, but we're gonna be working behind the scenes, and we're gonna have goals for next year because we all really enjoy the podcast and doing the podcast. So if you got, I'm thinking about by next year, like making a Patreon account or something for the podcast, so that if people like it and want to support and for some goddamn reason want to give us money to help us or something like that.
I like money.
Oh yeah, whatever. You know, if people want to be ridiculous like that, then that's where you can go to do that. You can also there like, you know, when that becomes a thing, we'll talk about it. But yeah, so we're looking ahead to next year. I know it's only November, but we'll start it next year after the first, whenever that podcast is, we do like right after the beginning of the year. We'll probably go through with you guys exactly what we plan on trying to do during the course of the year and what you'll see. So, we've all really enjoyed it. I don't think I'm talking or speaking or putting words in anybody's mouth, right? I mean, we all really enjoy doing this every week and stuff like that. I know, unfortunately, Jake's not here. I'm sure he'd be waxing poetic right now. Also,
he's good at that.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable to listen to because I'm listening, you know, pretty much every week there, you know. So it's been really nice to kind of see how this has grown.
Yep. So that's just, you know, that's what I'm gonna do. I want to work more because Sarah and I are trying to get a house and stuff like that. So I just want to do that. And I'm also just not enjoying streaming as much as I used to because all I'm looking at are numbers. So yeah, and with that, I guess that's gonna do it for us tonight, this week as well. Just real quick, you know, if you guys like the podcast, please rate and subscribe it on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Go sub to the Nerdy as Hell Gaming YouTube channel if you want to watch the videos. I will be putting every one of the other ones on that channel before I put the new one on. So I'll be working a lot doing that tomorrow. So the video might be a little bit late, later than normal. I'll get the audio version up as soon as I get home from work tomorrow, though, for the podcast. But so yeah, rate and subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening, and recommend to a friend this week. Chris, who are they gonna recommend it to?
Assassin's Creed.
There you go. Okay, Sarah said it then.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I do have a couple people at work that I've been thinking about suggesting they listen to.
Do it.
Hey, the worst they can say is no.
True. We're not really.
Yeah, man. I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So I like Sarah's idea. If you know one person that likes Assassin's Creed,
if you like Assassin's Creed, or if you know someone that likes Assassin's Creed, recommend this long ass huge podcast.
Somebody who has a really long commute.
Yeah, anyone that has a 3.5 hour long commute. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next week. But this one I do like. Please stay unapologetically nerdy. And we will see you guys next fucking week.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.